How y'all doing this evening? Turning guns, Dorinda, Al, White Light, Apple Dumpling. It's good to see y'all. I hope the temperature's getting cooler for y'all. It's warm enough here. And we found some crazy things. So the rain, I guess, has gotten in my closet too. So we have to empty my closet. The girls just left. We're starting over again tomorrow. And crazy times in my home. I'm sorry to hear that. But definitely, I know it's hot everywhere. I think I saw where there was something heading to Florida up the East Coast, but we'll see what happens. So the other night, I don't know if I explained it very well because it's just a it's just a subject that's like hard to talk about for me, but um here we go. Just bear with me. Oh my goodness. Sorry to hear that, wildlife. Hey, Snooks. Good to see you. Okay. My purpose of bringing up the influence of sex is where are we going as a society? Are we going to keep allowing the immoral behavior to influence our children? And that's what I was getting at. Or are we teaching them that their greatest gift is that giving that gift to the one they love and being intimate with someone is part of that, to make sure that person even deserves that gift. Unfortunately, it is being given freely and not appreciated but expected. Rape and child molestation is at an all-time high. The display of sexual perversion is being played out in schools, events, etc. People so messed up by this corrosion, they don't even want to be the gender they were born with. Where are we heading as a society if all of this continues or gets worse? That is my point. Where are the real men? Men of honor, that their duty is to protect and lead. And the women that help teach value and respect for your body and yourself. Higher standards. The most perplexing thing to me is seeing the fun and games until it comes to their own daughters. Because when it's your own daughter, you kind of get all bent out of shape and hey, Andy, good to see you. So that was the purpose of that. And just wanted to clear that up and get it out of the way. So that's done. Benjamin, you're fine. We need you right here. So I have it's a little video to share with y'all, and it lasts about 25 minutes, and then that's it. Open discussion, and we'll see what happens from there. And I want to thank you all, Indy, Sheena, Rescue, Carl, Virginia Roots, all of y'all for being up on panel the other night. I absolutely enjoyed that. It was a really good time. Boy, what life. Y'all need some rain. Well, it looks like you might get some. And that's true, apple dumpling, but mm, hey, Dagmar, good to see you. Well, um, I can see young people like listening. They're, I know, mine too. Um, I can see the young people listening, and I can see that they're seeking, but it's that base, the base morals and values that I think, um, I don't, I just, for whatever reason, it just seems like that the parents don't even know how to teach that. And it's, is it a teaching or is it from actions? You know, it, um, I mean, I think it's both, but at the same time, I know that school and outside of the home is a big influence on those kids. The internet, that they're exposed to everything nowadays, and um, even on TV, just everywhere, just everywhere. So it's, I don't know. We just need to keep working together as a society, I guess, to try and reverse the effects of what's been done for so long. And it's going to take a long time to do that, too. Some of us may not even be around to see it happen, but that's why I keep having discussions with my kids and the grandkids that are old enough to understand. Well, that's true. Yeah, well, like, yeah, I don't know. One seemed to grasp it pretty good. Um, I don't know about that part of it. Um, the relationship part of it, they're not getting that. They're they're just not getting that. And who am I to be a relationship expert? I am really good at finding the worst of the worst. Oh well. Okay, I'm going to share this video with y'all. I don't think I've shown this one to you. This is the last one that I was talking about. Um, it is, it's a really good one just for yourself, for your, each one of us. Okay, here we go. Hey, Stan Sloan, good to see you, Sweetie.
Imagine Imagine being surrounded by people who seem trustworthy, only to discover they're the very reason for your unease. What if I reveal to you the 9 types of people who, despite appearances, don't deserve your trust and respect? This revelation might just be the key to transforming your relationships. As a wise man once said, "It takes 20 years to build a reputation and just 5 minutes to ruin it." Trust is the cornerstone of all relationships, binding us to our friends, family, and acquaintances. But what happens when this trust is misplaced? In today's journey through the principles of Stoicism, we will uncover 9 types of individuals who might not be worthy of your trust and respect. This isn't about judgment. It's about being discerning in who you allow into your inner circle. Let's navigate these tricky waters together and learn how to protect not just our trust, but our peace of mind. 1. The manipulative individual. First in our exploration is the manipulative individual. These are the masterminds of deception, artfully crafting their web of lies and emotional manipulation. They wear masks of charm and concern, but beneath lies a calculating mind that uses others for personal gain. Their skill lies in subtlety. Their manipulation is not always overt, making it a dangerous game of shadows. How do you spot them? Look for inconsistencies in their stories and actions. They might promise the world but deliver nothing. Their words often don't match their deeds. Pay attention to how they talk about others. Manipulators often badmouth those not present, a hint of how they might speak of you in your absence. Their tactics can include guilt, tripping, gaslighting, and playing the victim to gain sympathy and control. They are adept at twisting facts and situations to their advantage, often leaving you doubting your perceptions. Remember, trust is a treasure, and with manipulators, it's a treasure constantly at risk. Their impact goes beyond mere disappointment. Prolonged exposure to such individuals can lead to emotional and psychological distress. It's crucial to trust your instincts. If you consistently feel drained, undervalued, or confused after interactions with someone, it may be a sign of their manipulative behavior. The key to dealing with manipulators is setting firm boundaries. Be clear about what is acceptable and what isn't in your interactions. Don't be afraid to say no or to question inconsistencies. It's also important to maintain emotional distance. While you can be cordial, avoid sharing personal information or relying on them for emotional support. In some cases, the best action might be to cut ties completely, especially if the manipulation is causing significant harm to your well-being. It's not easy, especially if the manipulator is a close friend or family member, but protecting your mental health is paramount. In the realm of Stoicism, we are reminded of the importance of discernment and emotional resilience. Stoics believe in facing reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. Recognizing and accepting that someone is manipulative allows us to make informed decisions about our relationship with them. As we move on from manipulators, we open ourselves to more genuine and healthy relationships, where trust is given and received with integrity. Stay tuned as we uncover the second type of individual in our next segment, where wisdom and awareness continue to guide us through the complexities of human relationships. 2. The perpetual critic. Now let's turn our attention to the second type of individual you might want to be cautious about: the perpetual critic. These are the people who seem to have made a habit of finding fault in everything and everyone around them. Their words are often sharp and their criticism is relentless. Whether it's your choices, your dreams, or even trivial matters, nothing escapes their critical eye. But what's truly concerning about perpetual critics is not just their negativity, but the underlying reasons for it. Often, their criticism is less about the people they target and more about their insecurities. They might be projecting their fears, disappointments, or self-doubt onto others. So how do you deal with such individuals? First, it's crucial to distinguish between constructive criticism, which is intended to help, and destructive criticism, which only aims to belittle. Listen to what they say, but more importantly, observe why they say it. If you find their criticism is often baseless and driven by negativity, it's a sign to maintain your distance. Engaging with perpetual critics can be draining. It's like trying to fill a cup with a hole at the bottom. No matter how much positivity you pour in, it never seems to be enough. Remember, in Stoicism, we learn the importance of focusing on what we can control. And while you can't control what others say, you can control how you react to it. Setting boundaries is vital. Politely but firmly, make it clear that while you are open to constructive feedback, unwarranted negativity is not welcome. If the behavior persists, consider limiting your interactions with them. Your peace of mind and self-esteem are far too valuable to be eroded by constant criticism. In essence, the perpetual critic teaches us a valuable lesson in self-respect and resilience. By choosing not to internalize their negativity, you protect your inner peace. As we move forward in our exploration, let's carry with us the wisdom to discern what criticism to take to heart and what to let pass by us like the wind. Up next, we'll delve into the third type of individual, continuing our journey towards understanding and Stoic wisdom. 3. The fair weather friend. As we continue our exploration, we encounter the third type, the fair weather friend. These are individuals who are all sunshine and smiles when things are going well, but the moment a storm hits your life, they're nowhere to be found. Their friendship is like a leaf in the wind, present in your brightest days but absent during your darkest hours. The fair weather friend is often charming and sociable, making you feel like you're truly connected. However, their loyalty is as fleeting as their presence. They are there for the good times, the celebrations, and the moments of joy. But when you need support, understanding, or someone to just listen, they vanish. Identifying a fair weather friend can be tricky, especially when times are good. However, pay attention to how they respond when you talk about your challenges or seek their support. Do they change the subject, make excuses, or simply disappear until the skies are clear again? This behavior is a clear indicator of their fair weather nature. Dealing with such individuals requires a balance of open-heartedness and caution. It's okay to enjoy their company, but be wary of relying on them for emotional support or sharing your deepest vulnerabilities. In the philosophy of Stoicism, we are taught to value inner resilience and the strength that comes from within. Relying too much on fair weather friends can leave you unprepared for life's inevitable storms. So cherish the good times with them, but also build a support system with people who are there for you unconditionally. These are the friends who will stand by your side through thick and thin, the ones who truly deserve your trust and respect. As we move on from the fair weather friend, we prepare to uncover the fourth type of individual in our journey. Each person we meet along this path teaches us something valuable about ourselves and the world around us. Stay with us as we continue to navigate these insightful revelations. 4. The gossip monger. Next, we turn our focus to the fourth type of individual to be wary of: the gossip monger. This person thrives on rumors and hearsay, often spreading stories that are not theirs to tell. Their conversations are a labyrinth of he said, she said, filled with details about others' lives that are neither confirmed nor relevant to them. Gossip mongers often present themselves as well-informed or in the loop, but the truth is their habit of gossiping is a sign of deeper issues. It may stem from a need for attention, a desire to feel superior, or an attempt to redirect attention away from their own lives. The danger of engaging with a gossip monger is twofold. Firstly, it involves you in a web of unverified and potentially harmful stories. Secondly, and perhaps more importantly, it sets a precedent for how your own stories might be treated. Remember the adage, if they gossip to you, they will gossip about you. How do you handle a gossip monger? The key is not to fuel their fire. Be cautious about what you share with them and avoid participating in conversations that revolve around gossip. When faced with gossip, a stoic approach is to either redirect the conversation to more constructive topics or to politely excuse yourself. In Stoicism, we are encouraged to focus on our actions and virtues rather than engaging in idle talk about others. This practice not only maintains our integrity, but also protects our mental peace. As we leave the gossip monger behind and move forward, let us carry with us the wisdom to engage in conversations that uplift and contribute positively to our lives and those of others. Up next, we will explore another intriguing personality type on our journey of discernment and understanding. Part 5. The Narcissist. Part 5 of our journey introduces us to the narcissist. This individual lives in a world that revolves solely around them. They are often charming and charismatic, drawing you into their orbit with ease. However, this charm is a facade for their deep-seated self-absorption and lack of empathy for others. The narcissist sees relationships as a means to an end, a way to boost their ego and satisfy their needs. They rarely consider the feelings or well-being of others, and their interactions are often one-sided. When engaging with a narcissist, you might find yourself constantly offering support and admiration, receiving little to nothing in return. Identifying a narcissist can be challenging, as they are adept at creating a favorable image. Yet cracks appear when they are asked to show empathy or engage in a give-and-take relationship. Their lack of genuine interest in others' lives and their propensity to steer every conversation back to themselves are telltale signs. Dealing with narcissists requires a strong sense of self and firm boundaries. It's essential to recognize that their behavior is a reflection of their character, not their worth. Engaging with them with an expectation of mutual respect and understanding will often lead to disappointment. In Stoic philosophy, we learn the importance of focusing on our virtues and not allowing external behaviors to disturb our inner peace. This wisdom is particularly relevant when interacting with narcissists. By maintaining emotional distance and not taking their actions personally, we protect our mental and emotional being. As we move beyond the realm of the narcissist, we continue to build our resilience and understanding of human nature. Join us in the next segment, where we will delve into another personality type that might be subtly impacting your life. 6. The Flatterer. This individual is skilled in the art of giving compliments and making others feel special, but their flattery often has an ulterior motive. The flatterer uses praise as a tool to ingratiate themselves, gain favor, or manipulate situations to their advantage. At first, it might feel good to be on the receiving end of such admiration. However, it's important to discern whether the compliments are genuine or a means to an end. Flatterers tend to lay it on thick, and their praise, while seemingly pleasant, can often feel insincere or exaggerated. The danger of engaging with a flatterer lies in the potential to be swayed by their charm. Their compliments might lead you to overlook their flaws or to make concessions you wouldn't normally consider. It's essential to stay grounded and not let flattery cloud your judgment. To handle interactions with a flatterer effectively, take their words with a grain of salt. Appreciate the compliments, but maintain a healthy skepticism. Pay attention to their actions, as these often speak louder than their flattering words. If you notice a pattern of insincere compliments being used to manipulate or gain favors, it's a sign to reassess the relationship. In the context of Stoicism, we are reminded to value honesty and sincerity over superficial praise. The Stoics teach us to be wary of external validation and to find self-worth from within. By not relying on the validation of others, especially the flatterer, we maintain our independence and self-respect. As we conclude our discussion on the flatterer, we prepare to explore the seventh type of individual in our next segment. Each character we uncover on this journey offers valuable lessons on the complexities of human behavior and the importance of discerning trust and respect. 7. The victim. This individual perpetually sees themselves as besieged by misfortune, always at the mercy of external circumstances. They portray themselves as the perennial underdog, unjustly wronged by life, people, and situations. While empathy for those in difficult circumstances is important, the victim adopts this role as a core part of their identity, often using it to garner sympathy or evade personal responsibility. The challenge with the victim lies in their refusal to acknowledge any role in their own predicaments. They often shirk accountability, attributing all their problems to external factors. Engaging with them can be emotionally draining, as their narrative is dominated by complaints and grievances, leaving little room for positive or constructive dialogue. Identifying a habitual victim involves recognizing their pattern of blaming others and externalizing their issues. They rarely take steps to change their situation, preferring to wallow in their perceived helplessness. When dealing with the victim, it's crucial to maintain a balance between compassion and self-preservation. Offering support and advice is commendable, but beware of being dragged into their cycle of negativity. Encourage them to take responsibility for their actions and to seek solutions rather than simply lamenting their fate. In Stoic philosophy, we are taught the importance of focusing on what is within our control, our actions, responses, and judgments. This principle is particularly relevant when interacting with the victim. We can offer guidance and support, but ultimately, it is up to them to take control of their lives. As we move forward from the victim, we do so with the understanding that while compassion is a virtue, it must be tempered with wisdom. Recognizing when to help and when to step back is crucial in maintaining our emotional health. 8. The envious. In Part 8, we encounter the envious. This type of individual harbors a silent resentment towards others' successes and achievements. They may appear supportive on the surface, but underneath, they are often struggling with feelings of jealousy and inadequacy. Envy is a subtle emotion. It does not always manifest openly, making it one of the more insidious traits to identify. The envious person might give you backhanded compliments or downplay your accomplishments. Their envy can also manifest in passive-aggressive behavior or in finding ways to undermine your achievements. They may mimic or attempt to outdo your successes, not out of inspiration, but out of a desire to compete and prove their superiority. Recognizing envy can be challenging, as it often hides behind a facade of friendliness or admiration. Pay attention to how they react to your successes or good news. Do their congratulations feel sincere, or do they always seem to add a negative twist? Do they often compare their achievements to yours? Dealing with envious individuals requires tact and a solid sense of self-worth. Don't let their envy diminish your achievements or dampen your spirit. Celebrate your successes, but be mindful of whom you share them with. While it's natural to want to share good news with an envious person, it might be best to be more reserved. In Stoic philosophy, we are encouraged to focus on our path and not be swayed by others' negative emotions. Envy is a reflection of the other person's inner turmoil, not a true evaluation of your worth. By understanding this, you can interact with the envious without internalizing their negativity. As we conclude our discussion on the envious, we prepare to unveil the ninth and final type in our exploration. Each personality type we have explored offers insights into human behavior and the importance of choosing our associations wisely. 9. The judgmental. We arrive now at part 9, the conclusion of our exploration with the judgmental. This individual is characterized by their tendency to make quick and harsh judgments about others. They often hold rigid views of the world and are intolerant of opinions and lifestyles that differ from their own. The judgmental person is quick to label, criticize, and dismiss others without seeking to understand their perspectives. Dealing with the judgmental can be challenging because their harsh critiques often lack empathy and understanding. They may have a moral or intellectual superiority complex, believing their way of thinking is the only correct one. Their judgments are not just opinions. They are pronouncements that can impact relationships and social dynamics. To identify the judgmental, look for signs of inflexibility in their attitudes and a lack of openness to different viewpoints. They are often unwilling to engage in meaningful dialogue, preferring instead to impose their views on others. When interacting with the judgmental, it's important to maintain your values and not be swayed by their narrow-mindedness. Stay true to your beliefs and avoid getting drawn into fruitless debates. The key is to acknowledge their opinions without internalizing them. You can agree to disagree, maintaining a respectful distance. In Stoic philosophy, we are taught the importance of developing our character and judgments based on reason, empathy, and understanding. We are encouraged to be open-minded and to recognize the value in diverse perspectives. This approach helps us to interact with the judgmental without being affected by their narrow views. As we conclude our series on the 9 types of people who may not deserve your trust and respect, it's important to remember that this is not about casting judgment ourselves. Rather, it's about being aware and making informed decisions about the people we allow into our lives. Each of these personality types teaches us something valuable about human nature and the importance of surrounding ourselves with positive, supportive, and open-minded individuals. Thank you for joining us on this enlightening journey through the complex terrain of human relationships. As we navigate our interactions with others, let's carry with us the wisdom and discernment we've gained. Remember, the quality of our relationships greatly influences our happiness and well-being. Choosing wisely who we trust and respect is not just about protecting ourselves. It's about cultivating a life filled with genuine connections and positive experiences. In the spirit of Stoicism, let's embrace the power of emotional resilience, the value of true understanding, and the strength that comes from knowing ourselves and others deeply. As we move forward, let's apply these insights to build richer, more meaningful relationships that elevate both our lives and those of the people around us. Again, thank you for being a part of this series. If you found these insights valuable, please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. Your reflections enrich our collective understanding and contribute to a community of wisdom and growth. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing for more content that delves into the profound aspects of philosophy, psychology, and personal development. Stay thoughtful, stay curious, and above all, stay true to the path of self-improvement and understanding.
It's how are you doing? So yeah, that's really good about explaining people. And that's all people. I mean, we can all have a little touch of that in us, I'm sure. I've been told I'm passive aggressive. And um, but it's um still having that compassion and love for people, even if they are one of those people, if they that's where boundaries come in. If you set your boundaries, good solid boundaries, let them know what's what right at the beginning, that's what those friendships can build on, I believe. Chuck, it's good to see you.
Hey, what's up? What's
Uh,
going on?
Not much. How you been?
All right, I was just saying that's weird. You had that up running on here. Wasn't right before I got on here. I went through my phone and got rid of all them one-sided friends. Oh, and I see the number come in. I don't know who it is. I don't accidentally answer it.
Yes, Snooks. Did I drop the link? Let me drop the link. Yes, I think we have all known a narcissist at some time in our life.
People try to claim that I was a narcissist for it, and I said, no, I'm just an asshole.
Well, and that's
And I can carry that with it like a badge of honor, don't I?
as you wish.
What's
You're
up?
not. I don't think you're an asshole, Chuck. You just if somebody pisses you off, you walk away,
Walk away, tell them how it is.
or that. I would rather tell them how it is, given the opportunity. But a lot of times they don't. Maybe they're too afraid to hear it. I don't know. I don't know. Um, but I did send 2 narcissistic videos to my girls because they seem to attract those kind of people also. And it's not, well, it is. They're never going to stay permanently. They're they they just want to be there to control you and and manipulate you until they're tired of playing with you, and then they leave.
It's like, how dare you quit being my doormat?
Yes. In Snooks, it's showing that you're not connected, hon. Maybe try again.
Hey, kiss off. I said something earlier. I don't know if you saw it.
Yep, Kiss Off, Turning Guns. There's a bunch of them in here. Indie, Snooks, What Life, Al. Al, you were saying some good things. The cat. Yes, we are all in there somewhere. Okay, now you're connected.
Off so I can have my
Okay.
profile pick up.
Yeah, you're good.
I know, but I'm a black rectangle. There I am.
Okay, there you are.
All right. I'm
We're
not
all
too loud,
talking.
am I? Hello, Frosty.
It's Chuck.
Not too loud.
I'm not too loud.
No.
No.
Okay. All right. I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay.
I was talking with a couple of guys the other day, Bonnie, and they're like, everybody needs to just
Yeah.
go through their phone, and when they do that, just go through anybody that's on there that if you called, if you had to, if somebody had a gun to your head, if somebody pick up, leave them people that would pick up, the ones you know wouldn't, just take them out of your phone.
Wow.
I almost did that, and I'm like, nah, just one-sided shit.
Hey, John Dunning, good to see you.
Hey, John. Big John.
Tom, and that's what they'll do. They will
That's fucked up, Tom.
they'll be so in control of you, and then but if you call it out, then oh no, this is because you're the psycho one, you're the it's all your fault. And you start believing that. You're like, crap. How do I fix this? What am I doing wrong? And it just all it is to make you doubt yourself, and it's just a game. I just feel like it is such a game, and we have enough games, but we don't need to be playing them with people. Michigan Outpost, good to see you. Yeah, interested to see what Snooks has to say about that part of it. But yep, and that's I even sent it. So one of them was 9 personalities of a narcissist, or 9 something, and then the other one was 5 ways they manipulate you with sex, and it was pretty wild. The the control, even in that way, intimately.
Happy Tuesday, Bonnie. I'm back.
Happy Tuesday to you.
I had to put up some grapes. Yeah, I was married to a narcissist. I didn't have the sexual aspect that was a problem, but the manipulation, the dehumanizing,
Yes.
demeaning, making me feel small, unintelligent, to where I just felt like I shrunk in size.
Yes, unintelligence, a big one they like to use on you too.
Yeah, exactly. And their life is all about them. It just, yeah. But I didn't know I was married to one until we separated and he left. And I was talking to friends and they explained to me, don't you know what you're married to? And I said, no, I didn't. That's how good they are.
And I had never even heard of that until a friend of mine brought it up. And I don't know if the AI internet world, whatever, heard it, but so all these narcissistic things are popping up. And so I've started reading them, and I'm like, wow. Um, it's I didn't realize it was a thing, and I didn't realize how common it's being used.
I didn't either until he left, and then I pulled up a lot of YouTube videos and did a lot of research, and it was like, "Yep, he did that, he did that. Ah, yeah, that one." They use gaslight phrases. They
Yes,
gaslight you. And,
yes,
a friend sent me a list of what they would say, and it was like out of about 10 of them, 9 of them applied. So,
yeah.
I learned. I'm still learning.
And that is life is a journey, and we keep learning all through it. I
Yeah.
have really been educated these past 5 years. Little naive, maybe, but not. I don't know. But, yeah, I've learned a lot these last 5 years.
I was naive in the relation aspect. You know, I wasn't naive in other things. I lived a very fulfilling life before I got married, very wild, very spirited. But as far as actually being in a marriage with a narcissist, I was very naive.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I said, I'm still learning.
yeah.
But your video was good. I speed read, so I did back it up and watched it, and it was like, yeah, it was really a good video.
Thank you.
Like a girl said, Hawk 2, you got to spit on that thing.
I saw that.
Yeah, that's become so popular now. It's just like I
I'm,
can't
dri-
take it anymore. I
I'm
can't
driving
take it.
Vicky nuts. She was in there earlier. She couldn't get the door unlocked. I looked at her and said, Hawk 2, just spit on that thing. She goes, would you shut the fuck up about that?
Oh my goodness.
Y- Yeah, it's all over now. It's all over the chats and
I imagine her
uh,
daddy's proud too.
memes.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know if she was married or not. I don't think her husband be very happy. Future boyfriends might.
I mean, as deep shit as she's got it so far, she might as well just jump on board, make T-shirts and bumper stickers, at least make some money off of it.
Oh, they have made, somebody's made,
Somebody's made
T-shirts
t-shirts
already.
already.
Yeah, they do
Yeah,
have
they do have
T-shirts.
t-shirts.
Hey, what?
Hey, what?
It's echoing.
It's echoing.
You got to echo walk. Sorry about that.
Probably running YouTube in the background. It's doing it.
Let me make sure. Yeah, it's not me. Hi there, handsome.
We,
I
he's
haven't
got,
talked to Watt in so long.
Long.
What about now?
are we
I don't
echoing?
Are we echoing?
Can
Oh,
you hear
Yeah.
me
Can you hear
now?
me now?
Yep.
Yeah, it's echoing.
Yeah, it's echoing.
Let me try to leave out.
I'm sorry, Watt.
Well, if it turns out to be me, I'm very sorry.
I'm thinking it's just it might either something in the background running or just the way he connected in, maybe.
I don't know. Hey there, Indy. Love you.
Hey, Dumpling.
God, what a name, Dumpling. Don't you love it?
Yes.
I mean, I just say it, and it makes me happy and smile.
Uh-oh. He jumped down. Maybe he's having some issues. Might like come back up if you're able.
Yeah, I used to do voice chats with Watt Life and a couple other friends on Discord. I haven't done it in so long. I've missed him. He's so intelligent,
Yes.
so smart, and comes out with these beautiful things and quotes of the day. And there you are.
What about now?
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I
Yeah.
figured out the problem. Pulling too many G's. Pulling too many G's in the background.
Yep.
Hey there, handsome. I've missed you.
Whew, yep. It's good to hear from you. It's good to see you. Well, it's good to hear you anyway.
Well, this is how I pretty much look in real life. Not.
I look like a bulldog in real life, so
You do not. You're very handsome. Tall and handsome. Well, anyway, getting back to the personalities, I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's okay. And hey, Black Watch, how are you? And but that's so in having a channel, and well, even the mods in chats navigating through all the different opinions, the different views, the different personalities. It's it's interesting to say the least. But I still enjoy it. I mean,
Well, I've been on panels with you on Indie, and, we don't always agree with each other, but we always respect each other.
yes.
In fact, I'm always the one who does the questioning and basically disagrees. But it's okay. It's okay. I do learn from y'all, though. I really do.
Yeah, disagreeing isn't a bad thing, as long as we keep that mutual respect,
We have mostly.
Mm.
I may have gone off a couple times. I never know. Sometimes we get some people up there and we just totally disagree with just one person. But, Indy runs a really good panel. She takes charge. She's very patient. She runs a great panel.
Be careful, Apple Dumpling. I'm glad you're prepared. Goodness. Yeah, I like the laughter when but the one the other night was really good too. Whenever we were just home remedies for stuff and learning a lot. Hopefully, some of the chat was able to take away from that also. And
Yeah, you don't always have to just talk about politics. I haven't been on Indy's panel in several weeks. Like
yeah,
if I can add to it or contribute, then I want to go up there. But then sometimes I've left for other reasons. But yeah, I enjoy Indy's panels. And this is the first time I've been on yours. Thank you very much, Bonnie.
it is the first time.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And you're always welcome up.
Well, I know it's just usually I'm modding at this time.
Yeah.
And thankfully I wasn't tonight. And I left for a little bit and then I came back and then I jumped on the panel and then realized I need to put my grapes away. But yeah, I pop in and lurk sometimes.
Yeah, I've seen you in chat. Much
Yeah.
appreciated.
I usually share you out to Indy when I can because I'm usually popping on YouTube around this time to see what's on, or if I'm on, if I'm modding something, I may just go and see what else is on. So I try and share you out.
Thank you.
Oh, you're always welcome.
Sometimes you never know what's going to happen here. That's all I can say.
But that's good. That's good. So has Indy decided to move to Texas?
Well, I'm working on it.
I DM'd her and told her she should.
I have a home next to me that's a rent home, and it's not very old. It's about 4 years old. And so anyway, send her the information because you never know. Now we'll see
Well,
what she does with it.
yeah. She'd sure be happy living next to you. There's such a difference between Alaska and Texas, though, Indy.
Oh, very. My cousin is in Alaska, and when I see the pictures of her tossing a glass of water and it freezes in midair, I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It's That's just too cold for my blood. We complain about the heat, but at the same time, we don't have that drastic of a winter. I just, I would be in the house all the time then. And that's why I love summer. I am out as much as I can be, um, running around all over the place.
Same here. If it snowed in Georgia, y'all wouldn't see me till springtime.
Yeah.
Oh, you are not that much of a sissy when it comes to snow.
I don't like dealing with it. I don't believe. Actually, I really don't believe in it. I don't believe in it where I live
You
in
don't,
Georgia.
you don't believe in snow.
Mm-mm.
It never happens, and if it suddenly happens, something's up.
So you're in denial.
It's the ice storms here that I worry about. People go nuts.
Oh, you don't get snow, but you get like black ice on the roads?
Yeah, about every 7 years we get this random ice storm.
Whoa.
Yes, we do too. Well, it's more frequent than 7 years now, and so it breaks all the limbs off our trees, and that causes all kinds of damage, and people can't drive in it, and so that causes all kinds of damage. It it's just, yeah, winter's not the best time of year. But then I've seen crazy times, completely sunny, no wet roads, everything's perfect, and that's we just have people. I don't know if they're driving too fast, trying to get down to the beach or whatever they're doing, but a lot of wrecks. Moving destination is yet to be determined. Yep. But even the heat can cause problems because our roads, I don't know about yours in Georgia, but ours, it's like the oil seeps up. And so then if it starts raining, it's like slick as ice then too.
Oh yeah, especially now. A lot of time, unless the road's completely horrible, a lot of times they'll just scrape a little bit off and just put like a patch on top. They'll go over it with a real thin layer.
Yeah, that's what they do here. Well, they just fill the holes. And so then it rains and the hole washes out. You can be driving down the highway and you don't even see it. And all of a sudden it feels like you have just hit a crater with your vehicle. And so front end alignments are kind of common sometimes, but
Yeah, we got a few of those spots around here. Mm.
I have to say, in my experience, and which hasn't been much traveling to other states, but listening to my family, Texas really kind of does have better roads than most states. Hey,
Well,
Rat, good to see you.
we don't get black ice here, but we sure do get we get the hurricanes.
Yeah,
But luckily, I'm more towards the center of Florida, so I have the coast like 2 hours away on each side almost.
yeah,
But I have gotten some that have come up the middle. It's just that I've been very blessed. I've been very lucky.
that's good.
I
Yeah,
think the worst. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't know what I'd do with a hurricane. I mean, I'm far enough from the Gulf Coast that we might get some rain and storms out of it, but it doesn't come here. Maybe because of all the hills. I have seen it travel up the Louisiana state line where Chucky is.
Mm.
my son was going to Florida actually, and I was trying to get him to postpone it, and he said, "No, we're going to go the upper route where you go up through Texarkana, and that's right above Chuck." And I'm watching this hurricane, and sure enough, it went right straight up the line, and they did get hit with it. Had to pull over and find shelter.
Well, the worst that's happened is I've lost some roof shingles, and insurance took care of me getting a whole new roof, so I was lucky with that, and that was a number of years ago. And I lost power for 3 days. So I think losing the power was the worst for 3 days, but everything was so much worse for everybody else in Florida, so I really can't even complain about that.
Yeah,
Down south gets hit very bad.
yes. I don't see how people live around the Keys or any of that.
Oh, yeah.
I used to work for a company that um, we would do damage, but it was usually damage that was caused by the garbage trucks because they put ruts in the road and or they'll hit a mailbox or whatever. And so calling and finding contractors to do the work. I think the busiest place in Florida that I had to do that was around Daytona.
I'm sorry, what kind of a contractor? Did you say trucking? Did I miss
No,
some? I
no,
missed some.
um, just regular contractors that can do fix roads or
Oh, okay.
like the rock mailboxes in the center of a rock art
Yes.
thing,
Uh-huh.
things like that. And sometimes a building, you never know what they're going to
Yeah.
hit.
Yeah, I was married to a contractor, and I would try to get him to get teams to go to the worst hit areas because he was very honest. He could bid good. He had his contractor's license, and it would make us money. But he'd be honest. We'd have contractors come in from out of state that didn't have their licenses and scammed people terribly.
Rap, where are you at? Oh, Texas. Okay.
Well, I don't know that Florida has the best food, but I will say fried gator tail is awfully good.
I think we all say our state does. The Mexican food here is unbeatable.
Well, you've got Tex-Mex. What is the difference?
It is a big difference. So my daughter makes Spanish rice the real way. She
Mhm.
was taught by a lady that is a good friend of ours, and I make it Tex-Mex way, and they're both good. I mean, nobody knocks either one. It's just whatever you prefer.
Yeah, a buddy of mine, his family was from Mexico City, and the way he made it, they like put the jalapenos and peppers and stuff in a pan and have the rice in there with it, not even no water on it, and browning the rice and the peppers and the onions and stuff on it, and then pouring your liquid on it after with like chili, with whole chilies and shit.
Whoa,
Oh
I've
yeah.
never heard of doing it that way.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, when you say Spanish rice, you talking about the yellow rice?
No, it's red.
Red,
Like
red. And
like if you went to a restaurant, that's usually what they serve with enchiladas or tacos, whatever you're getting, you'll get rice and beans, and it's Spanish rice.
Oh, no, I've never had the red rice. I cook a lot of yellow rice because I can just like cook it, freeze it, and add anything I want to it. Beans, if I have leftover meat, anything. But no, I've never had the Spanish rice.
I
Sounds
never
good.
heard yellow rice, but it's white when you start out, or you
Oh,
can use brown rice even. But
okay.
Like
I'll prefer,
jasmine rice. I think it's jasmine rice, I think. I could be wrong.
yeah. And then um, you fry it to make it brown.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well,
You can
yellow
add in
rice
your
has.
tomato paste and stuff to give it that red color, or however you want to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's
Peppers.
not
Buddy
like
of
red
mine,
rice. It's
No,
not
no,
red
no,
rice.
no.
Great.
buddy of mine, he would take freeze dried chili peppers or dried chili peppers and throw them in a bowl and reconstitute them somewhat, and then he'd pull the skin off of them and he'd take it and mash it up and mix it in with that rice. And then add
Yeah.
water to it.
Sorry. Yeah, I can't take the chilies. Yellow rice has saffron in it. That's what gives it its
Yeah,
color. But it's very tasty. And I did try jasmine rice after I had talked to you one time, and I really liked it. What?
it's pretty good. I like it. And then you can dress it up how you can turn it into whatever you want.
Well, and that's what I do. I don't just eat it plain. I always have something to add to it.
Hey, Angela. I never heard of yellow rice. So I guess I've never had that.
Yeah, you can buy it in the stores. I mean, it's got the seasoning with it. It's really good. Oh, I like dirty rice. Now, dirty rice in Florida is black-eyed peas with rice. And yeah,
Oh,
that's
really?
what dirty rice is to me. And spices.
Okay. I don't know. It's it's mostly Spanish rice or um, sweet rice with the cinnamon, and it's kind of like a rice pudding to me. Like,
I was just going to say that
yeah,
because I like rice pudding, but I have to sprinkle cinnamon on it.
yes, has to have cinnamon.
Have to have the cinnamon. Yeah, here we are. We always talk about food. It always goes to food talk.
Mhm. It's on my banner. Everyone knows when they come in, it could turn to food.
Well, that's
That
something you can
season.
go on and on about. Watt's a great cook.
I enjoy cooking. I do.
You do.
Yeah, I got a garden full of stuff. I'm gonna try out some new stuff this year. I think I'm gonna. Have y'all ever heard of chow chow?
Yes.
Depends on which one. There's cabbage kind and there's tomato kind. Tomato relish chow chow and cabbage chow chow.
I made a little bit of both. The one I'm looking towards making, I don't think I'm not probably not gonna put any cabbage in it. But I'm growing several different types of tomatoes. Uh, one of them is tomatillo, the green variety,
Yep.
Yeah, the
and I
one that's
think that'd be pretty good for making a chow chow.
yeah, they got a little bite to them. That's when you peel a little husk
Yes.
off of the paper thing.
Yeah, I
Like a
love them.
Wait a minute. I'm
what?
sorry. What is chow chow?
It's like you can make it different ways. It's like a blend of like peppers or tomatoes, cabbage. It's kind of like a spicy fermentation, almost like sauerkraut in a way.
It's
But
kind
Oh
of
yeah, I
potatoes
don't eat
without
sauerkraut.
cucumber.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm sorry I asked about it, but I'm sure it's very good. I just don't eat any of that stuff. Watt eats a lot of stuff, and I know Watt so well, and I've seen it. He grows these great gardens, beautiful gardens. I just don't eat a lot of the stuff that you eat. I don't know that my stomach could seriously take it.
Wow.
oh, you probably love it.
I don't have a bad stomach. I actually bought a bottle of Tabasco sauce to spice up my rice with beans, and sometimes I'll cook a pork tenderloin and I'll add that to the rice and beans and stuff, for a couple days. I've been adding too much Tabasco sauce and my mouth has been on fire. I'm going, and I don't drink milk, so I can't put the fire out.
Got me some chili peppers going. I'm gonna make me some homemade chili oil. I love that stuff.
Yep.
I don't know, I probably got about 3 dozen of them I done picked so far, and got them strung up, drying out right now.
Yeah, I got a bunch of dry ones in the fridge I've never used. I keep forgetting about. I want to make some real chili with using roast instead of hamburger meat. Some
Oh, that sounds good.
Texas red chili, no
Oh,
beans.
roast.
Uh,
Oh, I like roast, but my chili has beans. Ranch style beans, those ones you love.
You know what's good about them? When you have about 4 cans, they can be close together in the garbage.
No, send them my way.
Yeah,
I
somebody we know
use,
sent me a case of them things.
yeah, we go through them a lot. And like if I make chili, 4 cans of it are gone. Just 4 cans of ranch style beans. But I make enough for 3 households, so it's a good filler.
There you go, Bonnie.
Oh yeah, it's always better the next day or whenever.
Yes.
Flavor's done set,
Everything,
marinated.
yes. Everything is, especially like spaghetti or vermicelli or potato salad, any of the salads where they absorb all the
Oh yeah.
flavors. Ugh.
The cast iron skillet, the only way to go.
Yep.
To another level once you get it into the bowl. And that's a big old scoop of
Oh
Spanish
yeah, I
rice.
like
No,
I
it's
like watching
Spanish
this
rice,
guy's
it's a Mexican
videos.
rice. You can call it whatever you want, but this is the rice that my mama makes at home. Every time we make rice, it's the same one we use in catering. Everybody always loves my mother's rice. Whoo, this is good. There you go, Mom. Oh, yeah.
Let's see who finishes first.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, Mom, let's make some rice.
Let's start it.
So we're going to be cooking the rice on one of my mom's very old Dutch ovens. It's her favorite thing to make rice on, and a few other grease. So it was grandma's.
Yes,
That
it
Dutch
was
oven
my
was,
mom's.
I didn't remember that. That was my grandma's Dutch oven. So it's been in the family a very long time.
I start with a tablespoon of oil and 3/4 cup of rice, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, a pinch of oregano. Not everybody uses oregano, but I like the way that tastes. And I use a half a teaspoon of cominos. Also, I use 1 tablespoon of chicken bouillon. It's a chicken bouillon.
This brand is the Maggie brand.
I also use a teaspoon of salt. You might add some more according to your taste. You may need some more or less, but that's what I use. And before I put all the spices in there, I usually like to put the tomato sauce in there, a third of a cup. And I'll put that in, give it a little stir so you can kind of saute a little bit. And to me, that gives it a good flavor also. After we do all that, I pour in 2 cups of chicken broth. Also, the broth is made out of chicken bones of all the chickens that Arnie buys all the time. I like to keep them at the necks, and then I boil them and save the broth for cooking pasta or anything, the rice, anything that we can put it in. You can put water, but you're supposed to warm it up first before you put it in the rice.
The
You don't
chicken
want to
stock
put
makes
the
the difference.
water cold in there because that kind of makes the rice a little bit mushy. But the first thing that I need to do before we put all of this in there is brown the rice.
All right, so first we're going to add that tablespoon of oil. Spread it around, and Mom already has the pan a little bit warmed up. We're going to dump the rice in there, start spreading it around.
Gotta keep moving it.
Also, once you get everything in there, your water, which will be the last thing, once it starts boiling, you cover it up and do not open it for at least 10 minutes. And you don't stir it at all, so it won't come out mushy. Just try it and see if it's cooked or not. If you need to cook it some more, cover it back again. Don't stir it.
So the trick to nice fluffy rice is to put the lid on it and leave it on at least 10 minutes.
Like, at least 10 minutes. Because you got to check and see if the water evaporated too quick or what. This is like, you have to check, but don't stir. You can see where the oil is starting to come to the rice and it's starting to get a little bit brown. So we continue stirring it so it can kind of brown evenly. So you can see what it takes to get it like that, to get it into that nice, beautiful golden color.
Starting to look really pretty, and I can smell the toasty rice. It smells really good.
Mm-hmm.
It smells great.
You can smell it all the way outside.
Now this is a big, heavy cast iron pan, it tends to cook the rice a little bit quicker. When cast iron gets hot, it gets hot and stays hot a long time. So you can cook with a little bit less heat.
See how beautiful it looks?
Yeah, it looks really nice, Mama. All right, so here comes the tomato sauce.
Yeah. Here comes the tomato sauce. Watch the steam.
Look at it go. Now we got some steam going on there.
I had already put all the spices together, so I could just put everything at the same time.
Okay, so we got all our spices and the Maggi consomme in there together at the same time. She's gonna let those kind of toast a little bit with the heat before adding the chicken broth.
Yes. Here we go. Not too much, so.
Sure looks nice. That's a pretty color on the broth already.
I'm going to put a little bit more water in there because I think that 2 cups was not enough. So
Okay.
I'm putting like maybe half a cup. I'm not going to do the whole cup.
So like all cooking, it's kind of a learned experience. You have to kind of watch what you're doing, eyeball it, and pay attention, of course. Do whatever you need to do. If it needs more water, you add more water. And that's what we just did.
That's all the stirring I'm going to do for now. I'm going to put the lid on, cover it, and let it cook for a few minutes. I'm going to get the heat lower because we don't want it to start over boiling, just simmering. There we go.
What are we doing next, Mom?
Wait for it to cook and we can eat. To me, sometimes it takes longer to brown the rice than to cook it. You need to be very careful not to burn it, but at the same time, you want it with a nice color brown. Watch out that it doesn't dry up and don't cook it too long. You're supposed to cook it like 15 minutes. And that depending also on the pan, because if it's a thick, heavy pan like the one I'm going to use, which is cast iron, it can cook quick. If you use a thin pan, it might take a little longer because the water will dry up faster.
Grandma's rice is cooking. She's going to check it. It's been right at about 10 minutes. Okay. Whew, man. Guys and gals, if you could smell this, whoo, look at that rice.
I'm going to turn it off already because I think it's cooked.
Okay. It's cooked. So Mom says she's going to turn it off already. And that extra carryover heat from the pan is going to finish cooking the rice.
Okay, I'm going to take the lid off. I want to check on this rice and make sure that it's okay. Look at that. It's so pretty.
Beautiful rice.
See how fluffy it is?
Not sticky.
Not sticky at all.
That's the way you want your rice.
Uh-huh.
Not sticky, but nice and fluffy.
Now you can stir it.
All right, okay. Cool.
Okay.
It's perfect.
Yeah, that stuff's awesome.
That's the way my daughter does it. Me, when I'm browning the rice, I don't use all the seasonings she did. I have onions, bell pepper, whatever I want to put in like that, frying with the rice. And then the rest of it was pretty much the same though. And garlic. Can't forget garlic ever.
And my buddy, he's from San Antonio, but his family's from Mexico City, and he would put his jalapenos or whatever kind of hot peppers he had in there, and he'd have them roasting with the rice.
Yes, jalapenos.
And then when it come to time to add where she added tomato sauce, he'd have that chili, the roasted chilies that were peeled for the juice, and he put that in there, and he just barely put a little bit of tomato paste.
Yeah.
But the rest of it's identical. His own homemade chicken broth, and like you're talking about onion, and
yeah.
When it was done, it almost looked like fried rice, but it wasn't. Sometimes he even put English peas in it. He said if he wanted to eat it just as a meal by itself.
One of our restaurants have started adding peas to theirs, and my little granddaughter, she will not eat it. If she sees that green in there, she's like, nope.
It adds a little sweetness to it. I can't even really taste the difference. People, if they notice things, be like,
I can't take the onions and stuff, but I would definitely put sweet peas in it. That sounds good.
Yeah, that guy there is from Texas, Bonnie. I forget his name. I got to watch his cooking shows all the time.
Yeah, yeah, I enjoy his cooking channel too. I forget his channel name, but
It's like
yeah,
Ernie, something's his real name. I forget what his
yeah.
channel.
Is it the cowboy? The
No, that's not Kent Rollins. That's
oh, okay,
I'll
I
look
like
it up.
his channel too.
maybe too.
Cowboy Kent.
Yes,
Yep.
he cooks everything outdoors.
Yeah, he had that Roger guy, that Oriental guy, on his show a while back. That shit was funny.
This time of year, that's mainly what I do. I just grill out. I save the bacon for when it cools off, about after Halloween maybe.
Yes, yeah, we don't bake during the summer unless we have to do a cake, birthday cake or something. But well, and then the enchilada casserole that I sent over, but
Mm,
you only bake it until the cheese is melted, so it didn't
that's
heat up
good.
too much.
What life? You still got your Discord.
Good night,
Yeah,
Miss.
I still got it. I don't ever really use it, but I still got it.
Well, are you still in Mr. Green's?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, he messaged me. It was yesterday. He said he was headed. I think he said he was headed back this way for a little while.
Yeah, he
He let
messaged
me
me
know.
every now and then, and he misses us. He wants us to have a voice chat. I need to get in. I need to get you all in there in some time. I miss seeing your pictures of when you're sitting out there around your fire pit, and I miss you
Well,
cooking. I just
I'll be
miss you.
bringing the fire pit out about Thanksgiving. It'll be back
Yeah,
about
that's true. It'll be a
Thanksgiving.
while. Yeah, I wasn't thinking.
I
It'll
just
be a
dropped the
while.
link in. I just dropped the link. It's Arnie Tex is the name. I thought it was Ernie. It's Arnie.
Arnie, yeah, that's his name. Yep.
Thank you, Chad.
You're welcome.
I
I
agree.
think.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just trying to flood off the mosquitoes.
You know,
I
it's
like
funny. Mosquitoes don't like me, and I always thought I was sweet.
they are crazy here this year. We'll go
They've
outside.
not been bad here.
One of my daughters, she's the worst with them. They just swarm to her, and she comes in, and she's just got whelps everywhere.
Bonnie, you know to work save. If you guys drink coffee there, save your coffee grounds, put them out where they'll dry,
Yes.
and keep a pie pan and put them in there and put your little lighter fluid or start your little piece of paper on fire and put them coffee grounds. The coffee grounds burning will chase away mosquitoes and flies.
I've seen that. I need to, yep, need to do that. And then the cinnamon recipe that I saved. Can't imagine why cinnamon, but
Monty,
I'm sorry.
I said, hey, Monty.
Oh, Monty. You know what? I have always done that ever since I have first seen Monty. I can't tell if people are saying Monty or Bonnie.
I thought he said Bonnie too. I did.
It does
You know,
sound similar.
when I cook a pork tenderloin, I put ginger and cinnamon and nutmeg on it, and it smells wonderful while it's cooking.
I bet. I love ginger.
Yeah, I do too.
Need to grow some. As much as I eat of it, I need to start growing it.
Yeah, all you got to do is grab you a couple pieces at the store, and you can break it off in pieces, and that'll grow.
I heard it was really easy to grow.
I
Yep.
need to do one less thing I got to get at the store.
Yep. And
I want to do that
so,
garlic thing, but I don't want no bunch of rotten garlic around here.
why would it be rotten?
Because the way you do it, you leave it. Black garlic is letting it sit out. The best way to do it's at like 120 degrees for a week. You have it or 140 or whatever in a little warmer oven. But I'd be afraid it'd attract more fruit flies.
Oh, what? I lost my phone. There it is.
Hey,
planted
Jay,
garlic for the first time this year, but I think I planted it way too late, and it got so hot so quick it kind of stunned it. Uh, but I harvested it, and dried it all out. But I mean, I was happy for the first year experiment. But I
the
think I'll
garlic.
probably use it to make like chili oil or mix with some honey, stuff like that.
What is garlic?
Yeah, garlic.
Hell, stick it in now. Once it starts cooling off, get a bunch of rain, the ground's wet, stick you some in, and leave it alone for a year. Let it take
That's what I'm
over.
gonna do. Replant in the fall. Do it in the fall. I waited too late.
Um, so I wanted to read y'all this article that came out today. Um, oh, come on, just open. It's taken in a minute. Sorry.
I'm gonna
So
go
the
smoke.
title. I'm sorry. Oh, you're going to go smoke. You might want to hear this, Chuck. It's all happening again. The supply chain is under strain. Stephanie Loomis had hoped that the chaos besieging the global supply chain was subsiding. The floating traffic jams off ports, the multiplying costs of moving freight, the resulting shortages of goods. All of this had seemed like an unpleasant memory confined to the COVID-19 pandemic. No such luck. As head of ocean freight for the Americas at Rayna's Logistics, a company based in Germany, Loomis spends her days negotiating with international shipping carriers on behalf of clients moving products and parts around the globe. Over the past few months, she has watched cargo prices soar as a series of disturbances have rolled the seas. And so this is because of, um, how do you say it? Houthi.
H.
Houthi? Houthi. Houthi.
Is it Houthi? Okay,
Houthi.
late last year, Houthi rebels in Yemen began firing on ships entering the Red Sea en route, which y'all have heard about that. And that's a vital artery for vessels moving between Asia, Europe, and the east coast of the United States. That prompted ships to avoid the waterway, instead moving the long way around Africa, lengthening their journeys. So the gist of it is the price that it used to cost like $2,000 is costing up to $8,000 now. And so they're, uh, hey, Creek, good to see you. Brenda. Um, and happy birthday, Creek. 30 years old.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Creek.
Hey, mine and his birthday ain't far apart. How about that? Cancers. Cancers, they call us.
Yep, I'm a Cancer.
Oh, wow.
Well, that story can be true or not true. I mean, some of it is true. They've been doing a lot of attacking, but then, I always take an opposing position. Some of it's just pure BS.
Possibly, but at the same time, the Savannah port in Georgia and the Gulf Coast ports of Texas and the West Coast port, they're all going on strike also. And so don't know if they're going to get somebody to replace them temporarily. We know how that goes. It just a heads up, just in case, because even one of the shipping guys, the one that orders, he said he has already started mass ordering for the holidays, and they are having a lot of problems getting that already. So never
Why are they
know.
going on strike at the ports?
More money.
Well, they do that periodically.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. The Houthi rebels have also, well, I call them terrorists. They've also been attacking other ships. I mean, they've been attacking all kinds of ships.
Yes.
It's just not. It's not like those kind of ships. It's God, military ships. Yeah, they've been attacking all kinds of ships.
Yeah. It's in Creek. I won't be on real late. And so if you're going to do a live, I'll be watching for it. That 8-hour night the other night, that was something else. It was like, hmm.
I
So
went on Creek's panel the other night. I don't know if I'll do it again.
did you sing?
No, he wasn't doing the karaoke. He was
Oh,
doing a
okay.
chat panel, and I thought, well, I'm going to hop up there. It was actually a lot of fun.
Yes.
And I've always said when you hang with the guys, you got to put up with what they say and how they talk.
Yes.
So it was a different experience, but it was a lot of fun. Creek is hysterical.
Yep.
And
He's a good.
Dave, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, he's a good kid.
He's very good. And I mean, there was nothing bad to me at all. They were very respectful. And Dave, I'm not here, man, was on, and he's always funny. He just cracks me up.
Mm,
Oh, and Steve Harloha was on. So it was a great combination of the men. I told Creek in the chat, I said, you need to let a woman up there. You need some female perspective. And he just, welcomed me with open arms, and it was a lot of fun. Got to meet his fiance, who's very, very sweet.
yeah. Yeah.
So I
Dan,
had a good time.
she's a sweetheart too. Yep.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Creek. Happy birthday to you. I'm not going to sing it all. That's my Florida way of singing it.
Yeah. There's a
So,
lot of
yeah,
good
it was a lot.
channels out there. JM, good to see you.
Oh, yeah. Hello, JM. Did you say hello to me in the chat? You better have. I always get on him because he does blanket hellos, and I go, no.
Hello, Black White.
Hey, Black Watch.
Good evening, everybody. Bonnie, Snooks,
Good to
Chuck
see you.
still there, I think. Well, I just came up to add something from, I'm in Ontario, and there's an awful lot of produce, actually a couple hours, well, not even an hour east, they bring in migrant workers and all that. But north of Toronto, there's something called Holland Marsh, which is growing vegetables and everything like that. But anyway, long story short, we have a retail wholesale food thing, giant, called Loblaws, and it was right out in public. Of course, you project profits, right? Even through the pandemic and everything else. But it's well documented. They're making $1 million a day excess profit. So I wasn't trolling the premier and them, but I stayed on them. I sent something to them, and specifically about Loblaws. And finally, a reporter asked the premier, right out, you got Loblaws making $1 million excess profit a day. And he was in Holland Landing at the time, the growers, right? And it may be true. He deflected it for the most part to the federal government. We have a carbon tax, and April the 3rd, it went up 23%. So you can imagine how that hit the farmers.
Wow.
But that, you get it back. It's all built in there. But the point is, they're deflecting it all. They're blaming. How can you have? Because we had IGA and everything else. Loblaws is huge. It's across Canada, making $1 million, admittedly excess profit a day, $365 million, and climbing. Yet they still want to say the carbon tax, which would have saved the farmers on a large farm $3,000 to $6,000 if it didn't go up. But that's what's going on up here. When you try to stay on them, and they just, it just turned out that the tax just went up 5 days before, right? So he says, well, I'm trying to get on the federal ones to lower the carbon tax.
Yeah.
But there's a company making $1 million a day excess profit. Now,
Yep.
to me, it would have been simple. Government doesn't want to get involved with business. No way, you don't. But the government, I would have said, can you work with something, kind of help people out? I'll give you 6 weeks. You can't come up with it. Your tax just went up $750,000 a day. Till this is over. Of course, they won't do that, But I think I told you, Bonnie, to food up, it's impossible. It's not difficult. It's impossible. The number of people paying rent and going without food, not for the money, but most of it, a lot of it, is incredible. If it gets worse, I can't imagine it worse.
Black Watch, aren't y'all having early election for Trudeau, early voting for Trudeau?
The thing with that is it's a coalition government, the New Democratic Party, which Broadbent pulled away at Broadbent years ago from unions. That was because NDP was union. But the leader of it, I'm not going. You can look up his name. I kind of try to stay up on it. He could force a non-confidence tomorrow. He won't because his pension's in there. He's retiring soon. That's the idea. I was going to send you a channel up here in Alberta. There's a guy. He's incredible. He's on top of it. He, backs it up and everything else. I tripped over him a couple of months ago with things in general. But that's the thing with the food. It just, we're in an area from here 2 hours east. It's all hot houses, fields, farms, everything. They have to bring in migrant workers. That's why we got hit so hard with, CETA type of thing. Because everybody got cleared, but Essex County didn't because they had to bring in migrant workers. That's how prolific it is. And your local grown is one time an iceberg lettuce, for example. My daughter went, I said, get 3 of them. She said, you got $15. They're $5, and you had to take what they gave you. It's just,
But Black Watch, what I asked was, aren't they going to have early voting on Trudeau in the hopes of getting him out?
Yes.
They can. That's what I just said. That's what I tried to explain. It's a coalition government. The Liberals and the NDP are the government.
What's the NPD?
And New Democratic Party, NDP.
Oh, NDP. Okay.
Now, that guy says, say a motion goes through, and they kind of said, we're not voting for it. We'll go for non-confidence, say on a budget or something like that. That's it. Government comes down, election's forced. It's a forced election. It's happened before, but there's an awful lot going around the channels, up here about the NDP. He just won't do it.
Do you have any right-wing parties up there?
It depends what you call right-wing. We're not liberal.
Well, I'd just say more conservative.
The conservatives are Bay Street. You're Wall Street. They're all for business. They always are.
So you're saying your corporate people are more conservative?
Oh boy, are they conservative. The average guy.
So different here in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Honestly, Justin's father, Pierre Elliott, was for the working man. He brought a lot of stuff in and handled it well. Where it went wrong, I don't know, but that's but that's kind of the way the food thing is in that. The politicians are in a buying mode right now. You know what I mean? This is what we're doing. That last one was, we're going to buy school kids healthy food. That's going to cost $1 billion more. They're just in, you know what I mean, like Santa Claus mode.
These aren't new things. These are ever growing and evolving things. Because just remember right before our election in 2020, we were seeing the same type of things. You had farmers protesting different countries all around the world. You know,
Yes.
now you take a system that was already somewhat strained then all the logistics and stuff that got uh, crippled or redirected during 2020. Um, Man, it's tough on the farmers these days. I guess you think it was just your area, but you hear all these stories. It seems like it's tough on them everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah, globally.
but
What do
that's
y'all mainly grow up there in your area, Canada? What's like the big crops that's grown?
well, out the prairies has always been wheat, of course. It's always been, wheat. Ontario has a little bit of wheat, but it's basically a vegetable type of, uh, the produce type of thing.
Yeah,
I used to live up near Harlan Marsh, and you go by and just acres and acres and acres of black with, the green coming up, the lettuce, the onions, everything like that. But the quality of stuff now, frankly, sucks. You take what you can get, and it how people do it, how what I'll call a family. What I grew up, wife, child, and all that. How they do it, I have no clue. You just couldn't do it. It's
It,
impossible.
that's what they're, I think, forcing all of us into right now.
Yeah.
The economy is just going up and up and up. And I just saw something about Wall Street crashing, and it just seems like it's all connected. Always, it's
Mm.
connecting the dots. If we can't get the goods here, how much of our pharmaceuticals are coming by ship or containers, whatever? Um, and that's the major one to me. I think the TVs and stuff. That's like down there on the list.
Yeah, those
Um,
are luxury items. Those aren't
yes,
necessities.
it's
yeah.
the necessities, and then we know that they send our foods over to be packaged in China,
Yeah.
and yeah, so um, it could. I mean, if they keep putting a strain on what we can do locally, farming, ranching, all of that, we can see what they're trying to do. They're just trying to.
Well, did you see the story about they're gonna start giving the military lab-grown meat?
I did
Um,
see
Lab-grown.
that.
Yeah, you didn't see that? Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, they are. And then also remember the baby formula crisis.
yes,
You
Did you
know,
hear about that? Sorry about that. You haven't mentioned it. And what happened in Australia some years ago.
no, I don't think so.
And don't jump on it. This is prior to all this. But
Mhm.
apparently in China they couldn't get it right. The baby formula, like Enfalac and all this type of stuff. So and there were actually children were dying. So they said, "What are we going to do?" So they went to Australia, almost wholesaled it right out, bought it all. You couldn't get anything in Australia some years ago.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well,
Hmm.
this is the point, to the highest bidder, this mentality, and that's what happened there, you know.
Yeah, I
I,
don't think that's what happened in the United States, but that's an interesting story. I hadn't heard that one, and I don't doubt it.
mhm.
What happened in the United States, I think, was total BS. And, you know, people who had to have formula for their children were just scrambling like crazy and trying to get it online, get it anywhere they could. Walmart ran out of baby formula. It was terrible.
Yeah.
yeah, and
I
that's when my grandson was fixing to be born. Oh, and I told my daughter, I said, stock up on powdered goat milk. And I know goat growers where you can get fresh goat's milk, but get the powdered so you'll be prepared just in case.
Well, that was smart. I never thought of that for babies.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
They
Yeah.
and
Goat's
they
milk. It's safe.
yeah. And but I'm not, well, I knew it was safe. I mean, because they make goat cheese, but babies tolerate that well.
Yes. Actually, two of my children were allergic to milk, and so I had to put them on goat's milk.
That's great. But that was good that you did that.
Yeah.
I think Bonnie, I told her, my daughter, when she was born, he got this, she'd colic, which, the big cans of soy, that was expensive. But it was constantly, next month she'll be fine. 8 months later, I was ready to give her back. But it finally ended after 8 months. It was horrible. We spent Saturday nights in the ER of sick children's hospital till one
Mm.
nurse, my wife lost it. She started screaming. And she got in there, and I could hear one nurse, the whole tribe went in, and she looks at her and says, You wanted children, did you? But the cost of formula and everything, that was enough. It was difficult way back then.
Yeah, I had a friend who had a grandson that was a baby, and the mother was scrambling for formula. She lived in another state, and he made sure he found cases of it and was able to send it to her and keep her stocked up. But it was very, very expensive.
Yeah, it is. I can't remember, it's too long ago, like 50 years, but the cans, they're kind of like, 16, not quite that. They were, I don't know, $8. I can't remember. It was difficult. Without
Yeah.
Yeah.
my parents, I couldn't have done it. I
Yeah.
couldn't have done it. So,
And then some babies can't tolerate a certain formula, and you have to switch them to a different formula, and then they start growing up and they have to have a different formula. And a lot of kids were switching formulas at that time too. It was just, it was horrendous. And I do believe it was government rigged.
Yes. And that's why the goat's milk. I, I
Yeah.
still stick to that because and um, that's, I know my kids have gotten totally dependent on convenience. And so I have I have ordered cloth diapers, even if they aren't needed for the babies or something. They're good cleaning cloths. They're good for a lot of things. Um, it's just for me, a lot of it is getting back to, you know, whatever they try to take away from us, make sure you have a backup. That's all. Even when they were talking about everybody's going to get the lab meat, and it was stocking up on protein powder. We've got to have protein. That's how they were brainwashing people, was taking away their protein. So, and dehydrating eggs.
Well, they're not doing the lab grown meat yet with the military, but they're definitely looking into it and going to
Right,
try to be doing it.
right.
Um,
I'm
which,
just,
I mean, you don't do that to our military.
no, they always use them as guinea pigs, like Indy said, I think it was. But
You know what's crazy about that? Was when this whole artificial meat thing came out, I was digging into it, and it actually costs them more to make and produce the lab grown meat than it does real meat. It actually does more of a carbon footprint, as they like to say in their terminology. And even with that, they cannot create the lab grown meat without a stem cell or a cell from an actual piece of meat or the DNA from a piece of meat.
yes, so it doesn't make any sense at all, does it?
It doesn't. It
And
really doesn't.
um, what the cat's saying, I get that. Um, that's the way God made us, but at the same time, some can't. And also, years ago, I saw where they were finding jet fuel in breast milk from the
Really?
yes,
That's disturbing.
Yes.
And also, I adopted my son, so I didn't have that option.
Yeah.
He was a month old, so that wasn't an option for me. Although then I found out people from La Leche will come and help you to be able to do that, but that was just later on.
Yeah.
So, if you adopt, you don't have that option.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not a matter of God or anything else. It's just that some women can't do it, and then there's the adoption factor.
Yeah. And but that's why I was pushing my daughter too. She is totally by the doctor. Whatever the doctor says, she does. Well, this was a little boy that he was pretty good sized when he was born, and I had a 10-pound baby, so I know that that little bottle of milk is not going to hold him over. And so at 2 weeks, he was eating baby syrup. I'd fix him a little bowl, and he would finally just sleep.
At
And
2 weeks?
2 months,
Oh,
two,
at 2
2
months. Oh,
weeks,
that's still pretty good.
over 2 weeks. He was chunky when he was born. You know how they you know how they lay them on your chest when they're born, and he pushed up with his arms and looked me straight in the eyes, and I'm like, holy, holy! I
Did you
bet
know then you were in trouble?
yes, and
That
actually,
is amazing.
he's 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 very he's a good kid. Well, he's not a kid anymore, but still, he
Born
was.
chunky and pushed himself up on your chest.
Yes.
I love the thought. I love it.
I've never seen that before. And so he was hungry all the time. And so, yeah, they'll tell you to put a teaspoon or something in their bottle. That's a joke. I was just putting a couple of teaspoons in a bowl and just letting him eat it. And so when he was like, so he got pretty chunky pretty quick because my babysitter was Hispanic, and um, she would make homemade tortillas, and he would just chow down on those all the time. And she would even send a plastic baggie home for him. So when he was a year old, he weighed 30 pounds.
I can imagine his first words, El Paso. Right?
No.
Sounds like me. Mine was cornbread.
Hi, Sheena. How are you?
Doing good. I'm sharing you out right now because I told everybody to come over here.
My sister had kids before I had, we adopted our son, and she told me about the goodie bottle, and it was warmed milk, well, warmed formula with oatmeal in it, cooked oatmeal, and a little bit of applesauce, and that would fill him up for the night, and he'd sleep.
Yep.
I mean, the applesauce kept him regular, and the oatmeal filled him up.
Yeah.
What are you guys up to tonight?
I was just talking about all kinds of things, food shortages, and
Oh, goodness. It's going to
You
rain
mentioned
over here.
yay.
I saw lightning.
send some my way. We need it bad.
We went from swamp to a drought, and now it's all dried up again.
Yeah. It's starting to get pretty dry here again now. And
What'd your temperature get up to today? Mine was 107, or it felt like 107.
it said 97, but it sure felt a lot hotter.
Where's
We got up.
Camo Carl? He's always up here.
We got up to 100 today. I think it was 104 or 105 with the heat index.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that heat index is killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been talking we had a food talk, and then I read an article about the shipping having problems getting in, and so that led to the shortages. And then Blackwatch was telling us about Canada.
What's going on in Canada? I missed it.
The carbon tax that they're charging, and they're attacking the farmers globally,
Oh
and
yeah.
just all of that. Then it was the lab grown meat that they're talking about.
What do you think about Texas forming its own stock exchange?
I think that's brilliant.
I
I think it's brilliant. Oklahoma should do the same.
I could kind of see that coming, so it didn't
Oh, it's
really.
coming.
Yeah,
I think they said they're going to start trading next year.
That's excellent.
I'm kind of all for it. I mean, if I just don't think we should be dependent on DC for every single thing.
Well, DC's the one that limited the farmers to begin with the agriculture and all their rules that they passed, controlling pretty much, farmers couldn't make anything to sell their meat. And you get it out of that big mess, the next thing you know, farmers are going to do extremely well. They're going to actually make the profit. They're not going to be the middleman anymore. And I really do believe that that is going to change a lot of everything around here. Meat prices, choice. You're not going to have to go into a grocery store and pay the ridiculous prices because the farmer, it's like he's a reseller. You know what I mean? You're cutting out the middleman. Once you cut out that middleman, you can give somebody a fair price on a half a cow, a whole cow, whatever it is you're looking for. And I think it's really going to benefit the farmers more than anybody, but also the consumer so that we can, well, eat more meat.
Yep.
They can keep their veggie wieners.
You know how we are with our meat.
Yep.
That's I know West Texas is where they have the big ranchers association meetings, and it yeah it we definitely are all about the beef here.
Oh
And
yeah.
so I knew that they would be in a lot of battles with all this crazy stuff that they're trying to.
Well, this has been coming now for actually about 3 years. This isn't anything that hasn't been discussed. They just didn't have enough supporters and enough people behind them. But now that so many
Yeah.
people's gotten sick from eating crap food, now a
Mm,
lot of people have turned to more of a carnivore diet, and they're seeing a difference in their health and how they feel. So that's driving. The problem was you can't
yeah.
afford the beef. The for me the cleanest meat to eat is beef or venison, and I don't hunt, so it's beef. And it's like when people started realizing that, hey, we can get fresh meat that was pasture raised and not pay $20 a pound or whatever they're charging for it. And this has been, if you know anything about carnivores, and Sean Baker, he has a YouTube channel. He's a doctor. Well, he's not a doctor anymore. He's a military doctor, but now he's a big dude too. But he, gets on there and does interviews with ranchers, and supports and is helping ranchers get it out there to people, because all these people that were vegans and stuff like that, they weren't getting well. They weren't doing any better. And
Yeah.
then whenever they started realizing that, they become desperate, so they're willing to change their diet to give it a try, one last ditch effort. And they saw the difference in how they felt, because my body, I can't sustain myself on carbs. I just can't. I just don't feel good. I don't have energy. Flares up my lupus. A lot
Yeah.
of people have learned that meat is the way. And so this has been coming on now for about 3 years, maybe even longer than that. But I'm really, when people couldn't get out to get meat, they would ship it to you frozen in those containers with dry ice. And, I don't know. I think it's going to be a hallelujah moment when it happens. because it's going to put those big pockets, those people that are paid for to get them to vote the way they want to. Well, that's totally going to change that.
Yes.
No more control.
Can I just interject here? I mean, I like beef. I don't eat much beef though, and I haven't been sick in 5 years. Just don't take away my chickens.
Yeah, and everybody's different. That's just it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I do love,
I
I
like
love
beef.
chicken too. I like chicken too. But as
I
far as feeling good, it's for me, it's beef.
yeah,
Everybody's different.
yeah. Well, after the ex left, which has been over 4 years now, I was able to change my diet because I didn't have to cook, and have a side dish, have them. I mean, it was like everything had to be. If I tried to serve just meat and vegetables, it was like, well, is this all I get to eat? And he put on the little poo poo face, and it was like, you're not going to starve, okay? So after he left, I started eating the way I wanted to, which was a lot smaller portions. Lost 55 pounds.
Wow,
Kind of,
congratulations.
yeah, yeah. Well, and that's why I feel better too, and haven't been sick. And just veered into, like I said, the smaller portions. I don't eat sweets at night. I eat fruit for dessert. I dance a lot for exercise. Every now and then, I like to have a good hamburger.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong
But I
with
cook
that.
it at home. Yeah, I cook it at home, and, but I really don't miss the steaks or anything,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I thought I would because we had them every Saturday night.
You might have just got burned out.
I don't know, maybe. You may
I
be right.
I can't get burned out on steaks.
Me neither. Me neither.
Well, no, you
For
may be
me,
right.
I
Well,
run
there
the
for a while
limit.
I did though, because there for a while that's all I was eating when I was really trying to heal my body. I mean, I
See,
was ribeye, 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 and I cut it
yes,
myself. I'd buy the best way to do that, guys, is to buy it restaurant supply and cut it yourself. It goes further and you save a lot of money.
yes.
But that's what I did, and there for a while, I guess about after about a month, I was like, oh my gosh, I need some chicken or something, and so I'd change it up. But you learn, and I eat a lot of eggs. You learn to change it up. But I'm just thankful. I will tell you, I was terrified that the veggie wiener was going to sweep the world. I was like, please, God, if
I don't know why
anything,
that word just cracks me up.
no veggie wieners, please,
No,
God,
it's not the
no.
veggie and the veggie word doesn't bother me.
It's a wiener.
We want the real beef, darn it.
But it's like you can take anything, but don't take the meat. Don't do it. That is sacrilegious. You just can't do that to
It
us.
is.
We
Yeah,
are Americans. We have a right to choose what kind of meat we want in our mouth. So, I don't know.
There you
I'm
go.
sorry. This guy that I mod for in the daytime, I send him all his stories, and a lot of the stuff he talks about is, gender changing and stuff. And, and I hope this isn't offensive, but he talks about
mm,
turning your wiener inside out. And it's like, I have got to quit sending him those stories because now I can't eat hot dogs. I can't eat sausages. I can't eat any of those kind of things. And I loved them.
it's probably
Well,
better
eat
for you not
sausage
to.
patties. Sausage patties.
No, I like the Italian sausages, and
Oh, yeah.
I just and I can't even look at them anymore. It's like I just can't do it.
I thought bringing in some fish into your diet was good too, once or twice a week.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
love
It
fish.
is.
yeah,
It's supposed to be.
and I
Um,
love pork chops, and I love, yeah, I love the pork tenderloin. So yeah, I mean it's chicken and pork. I think
pork is good for you too.
Yeah.
is
I
it
love it.
good?
You know what's crazy is each one of these animals have different vitamins. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Each one of them have something higher and something else. And I never really thought about that before until it was brought to my
Regina?
attention.
Well, it's something like, say you're on certain vitamin A, eating fish, you digest it better. It's absorbed better into your system.
Victor.
But anyway,
Yeah,
That
yeah, I
makes
do believe
sense.
beef is important in your diet, though. I really do.
Hello, Magic. How are you doing
Stop
tonight?
right
Good to
now.
see you.
Oh, JM, send me some wild salmon. I
Oh,
will
that
adore
sounds
you.
good.
Oh, I love wild. That's the only salmon I'll eat, and it's so expensive when it's in season at my store. It's like, I don't know, 21.99 a pound.
Yeah, it's
ooh,
crazy.
JM, I'll love you forever if you send me wild salmon. Just saying.
Well, I
Oh
can.
my
cheesecake.
gosh, turning guns, you're so funny.
I think they run anemic, so that's I think why the red beef is what I turn to. I'm supposed to eat liver once a week, but I just can't. I cannot. I've had it cooked every way, and it the taste does not change.
No, well, the liver don't. Well, if you get calf liver, it ain't as bad. However, if your body don't need it, you're gonna have that super irony taste, and you're not gonna be able to stand it. If your iron's super low, you're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, this is so good." I still dip it in no sugar added ketchup. Don't get me wrong, I do. However, I can tell when I need it more. Then sometimes it's like I can't do it. Other times I'm starving to death and like, oh, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah,
Liver's just offensive. It's offensive. I mean,
Yeah.
I grew up having to eat liver, and I guess my dad thought it would be better because we ate it with bacon. No, the bacon didn't make it better. The liver still tasted terrible.
What about onions and gravy? You know, back
Yeah, no,
then they
my
used to
dad
make
didn't eat onions.
ah
I grew up without onions and garlic, so I guess that's why I don't care for it now. But yeah,
I've had it with the onions and gravy, and it
well,
smells so good and looks so good.
till it
No.
hits your mouth.
but it still tastes bad.
Liver has to be pan fried and smothered in onion. That's the only way.
No, it's still not going to taste good. I don't care what you smother it with.
Well,
Even
you
if you
don't.
melt cheese on it, it's still not going to taste good.
Oh no, yeah.
Regina said chicken livers are very good. I like chicken livers and
Yeah,
gizzards. I
I
do.
like
Okay,
it.
I did like chicken livers.
I did
fry
like
'em up. Mm,
it. I like
I like those
it.
chicken nuggets.
Yeah, I like them. I do.
My
You
grandfather
can throw those in the air
did
fryer without any breading on them. And honestly, if you let them cook long enough, they get that crunch to them. And
yes,
then you don't notice that it doesn't have the breading on it.
yeah.
Oh, I
But
used to get them from somewhere. I was a floral designer, and right down the street was a place that made chicken livers, and I'd walk down there, or chicken livers, and get them for lunch all the time. I don't know why I liked them so much. Must have been something wrong with me.
I imagine you have the same thing down there, and it just occurred to me for temporary relief of the problem with food and basics. I grew up with this as cold fresh milk brought to you by the Dairy Council of Ontario. Then it'll be farm fresh eggs brought to you by the Egg Marketing Board of Ontario. Point is, how much do they throw away a day?
Yes.
Millions and millions of eggs.
Well,
That
the
might,
government, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say to finish, it might impact the farmer. I don't know about that end of it. You know, who's going to take the hit?
Oh, well, now the government is coming out and saying that unpasteurized milk is not good for you. Or, I mean, raw cow's milk is not good for you. And that's
There's
BS.
a
That is,
number if you're in the United States. I actually have that number. I'll look it up for you guys. I'll put it on my community board. But where you can buy, you have to go pick it up. But the farms and homesteads here in the United States, there is a list, and you can look up that list, and you can buy
Oh, wow.
raw milk and goat's milk. Oklahoma, Texas, everywhere. So I'll look it up for you guys. I used to use them to get my raw milk, so that way
that's
you
what it
guys will
was.
have that.
Raw
I
milk.
get
Yeah, I don't drink milk or anything, so that doesn't affect me, but I have a very good friend in Texas, and she can only drink raw milk. She
Mhm.
can't drink the other milk, and she never had an issue with it, so now all of a sudden, raw milk is not good for you.
Oh, they've been
yes.
saying that for years. A homestead. That's why I raised goats and would get my own raw goat milk because that's before the homesteaders came together with this brilliant idea of hey, all the farms. Because here, back then I could have sold. However, they would have had to come pick it up here and then go away. But they've changed laws since then, and I cannot remember it's like it's a website, and I can't. I gotta look it up for y'all, but anyway, it lists every homestead, every farm that sells milk where you can just give them a call here and be like, hey, can I come by and get 2 gallons or whatever? Some of those people actually leave it in a fridge on their porch where they have a money jar and they use the, honest system where, you just get what you want and eggs too, for that matter. But, I've been for years, I used to tell people, buy from your local support Americans, help your brother, your sister, support them, go to these homesteads, help them out, because that helps them out when when you raise chickens, you always have extra eggs and stuff. And then they'll say, hey, I got this many dozens of eggs or whatever. And it's fresh and it's cheaper than the store. And it wasn't kept in a coop. It was out running in the, pasture. So.
And that's at our farmers market. They sell raw milk. And so we have sources around us, thankfully. But, and that's how I find them. Going to the farmers markets, if they don't have their meat there, these ranchers that'll butcher it up and sell it. And even our processing plant, you can buy half or a whole cow, and it's pretty pricey. And so I'm trying to work up a network of my friends where we can all pitch in together to get that half a cow. And
That's a good idea.
users.
Does raw milk taste different than, what is it,
Yes.
pasteurized milk? Because I don't drink milk, but I also haven't eaten eggs unless it's in what I eat. I don't know. I didn't have to cook them for breakfast anymore, so I just quit eating them.
Raw milk
Figure
is
even if you
creamier.
buy just regular whole milk from the store, at best is 4%. So that's 4% milk, and the rest is just water.
Water.
That
Whereas
lets you
raw
know how
milk,
much of a
they leave
difference
the
it
fat
is as
in it.
far as the taste and quality.
And
Raw
when you
milk
get
is
whole
all
milk,
that fat.
right, when you get raw milk, you can make your butter out of it. You can make
Cheese.
cottage cheese,
Yeah.
yeah, sour cream, all the things.
Yeah, I wondered about. I'm sorry.
It just all the things that are good and good for you, and then it's fresh. You know what's in it. It doesn't have any additives. And that's where I'm like trying to get back to my friend from high school. She's already doing all that. She's making her cheese. She's making butter. She's ghee.
I've done all that. All that.
Well, how do you make butter without churning it?
Well, you have to churn it, but you can use a jar, or you can also, there's many ways of doing it, but a lot of people don't.
Which you can do with a Ziploc bag.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Shake, shake, shake.
Y'all are like pioneer women.
Hell yeah, I thought the world was going to shit, so I had to put back food and learn how to do crap, because I wasn't going to rely on my superiors that be to feed me. I wanted to feed myself. So I learned, but I love learning. I mean, even though I don't have a homestead anymore, I still love to learn, and I love to, I just love it. I do. I like to be
I think it's
Rambo.
awesome. Yeah, I think that's really awesome. I do. I'm not much of a pioneer woman. I don't even like to go camping unless it's in a motorhome.
Oh goodness.
I know,
Well,
I know.
now,
I'm embarrassed to tell you.
I'd be just like you. I'd be just like you now. It's hot as hell out there. I can't imagine living in a tent and getting sweaty crack. No, thank you.
Can't blame you. In Georgia and Florida, we got a lot of huge bugs. They're like baby hummingbirds.
Oh, you got alligators.
I don't care if it's cool out. I still don't want to go camping in a
We've got everything from A to Z. From the alligator to the zebra spider.
Oh, wow. Does a zebra spider kill you?
No, it's like what it kind of looks like. Have you ever seen like a wolf spider?
Yeah.
It kind of looks like that, maybe a little bit bigger, but it's got like black and white stripes, almost similar to a zebra.
Oh, wow.
We have a bunch of those here in Georgia.
Zebra?
Zebra spider.
Oh, I thought you meant like real zebra.
And we might have some of those here.
Some of those too.
It wouldn't surprise
You never know.
me,
You never know with what we'll find. You just never know. He'd be the one to find some wandering down the road and take them home.
See if I can't find one.
He'll be cooking iguanas come this winter when they start falling out of the trees.
Right.
They do. They fall out of the trees down south of me. You know, that would just they revive. They come back to life. They don't die, but they do. They fall out of the trees. That would scare me to death, okay? Like, what the heck is that?
You know what? We had oh, what is his name? Y'all help me out, chat. Von
Bon,
Erich.
Bon
We,
Eric. Bon
yes,
Eric with his iguana. Oh, yeah.
we had Von Erich on panel one night, and we were talking about the spiders and snakes that we have around here, and he was just going nuts. And he said, ever since that, what did he call it? A dragon or a
Yeah.
um something huge fell on me in Florida. It traumatized him
I think we,
totally.
I think he went down to Florida and he's just standing there looking around. And apparently there was a bit of a stone fence and he turned around. This thing's staring at him.
So we had to have a little fun with that.
A little.
I don't think he's been back because we traumatized him so bad.
That poor man, that was the only set of lives where I thought, drop the oxygen mask from the ceiling. He was belly laughing, he falling off the chair. He had to go away. It's just not good.
It was great.
Poor Bon Eric.
Yep. Do y'all mind excusing me for just a second?
The one thing I found out growing up and everything, I decided you got to eat healthier, no matter what it's going to cost. You know, a few years ago, vegetables, eggs, and all that. This was Canada Grade A. You know, the egg. They're smaller. That's my point. They're, to me, you know, what they feel like in your hand, and visually when I grew up, they're smaller. They look like medium to me. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, it's not just you, my friend.
It,
No, I've heard it from other people here in the States.
I mean, you know, I hate to think what, you know, proper, you know, growing up and going to school, you get mom will make a couple, you know, soft-boiled eggs and soldiers, bread and all that. But, you know, they look smaller. They're full in your hand, you know what I mean? Not rattling around, but I don't think they're that size. No, I don't know.
No, you're right.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I do eat healthy. I eat a lot healthier than I did. Um, so I guess I'm doing better.
I try to. Still have my moments.
Oh, I don't eat
Yeah.
healthy. The meat is the healthiest thing I eat. The
Meat's
rest
the
is
healthiest thing so you only eat meat? You don't eat anything else that goes with it?
no, I do. That's what I was saying. Meat is the healthiest thing I eat. I eat
Yeah.
pasta. I love pasta. The
Well,
shells,
yeah.
the
Yeah.
shells, even if you just put salt, pepper, and butter on them. Oh my goodness, they're
Oh,
I,
I'll do that with egg noodles.
and vanilla wafers is the sweet that is. It just I
I,
can't stay out of them.
I had a lot of, I love like baked potato. This stove you can't use. It's, you know, it starts to get a little bit warm and the heat things, alarms go off. And you're not going to get a new one. But the thing is, you know, I never had the bachelor days. I married too young. And it's been decades since, you know, split up. But I'd be on a channel and I'd be going, how do you keep the onions and potatoes? And they'd say, you don't put them in the fridge. I go, oh,
No,
only been 3 days since I put them in the crisper. Boy, just said, you know,
What's wrong with putting them in the ice box? I keep my potato in an ice box.
well,
they're
you shouldn't have the onions and potato. They counteract
Oh, together.
one
Okay.
one. Well, even side by side, apparently. And then you shouldn't put them in there. You know, I grew up, you know, they're in the basement in a box. And potatoes
yes.
start to grow something, you know, then you kind of,
Dark, cool spot.
the green on
That's
it, you know.
that's your garlic, your onions, your potatoes. If you can get those webbed bags, they're they're real airy. They have to have the air get to them, and I think that's why the refrigerator they're not getting the air to them, so they go back.
Okay. Go ahead. Okay, but if you just have a single potato, it's okay to keep it in the fridge, right? In the crisper.
Well, probably till you use it, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. I do.
on
Yeah, one of my favorite meals is a baked potato, and then I take it, cut it up, put a little bit of butter on it and some pepper. Then I put fresh spinach, and then I put grated cheddar cheese on it. Then I melt the cheese, and it's like having a dessert.
oh yeah.
Mm.
It's just amazing, and you don't miss not having any meat with it.
No, there's a number of people that channel. There's a guy probably even I think about 2 blocks out of Detroit, and it's always a morning thing. Where's my tater? I'll trade you this. It's a popular thing. And the thing is, I always got bored. What do you type in? So I said the Great Irish Potato Famine. But the thing was, what's in a potato? It's the nutrients is kind of amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot of starch, but it's still,
Mhm.
and that's if it's a natural, just like fruits, they have sugar, but it's a natural sugar. It breaks up easier in your blood than
Yeah.
the refined sugar.
Artificial.
Yes, and
Yeah.
so yeah, that's the difference. Is just getting the healthier choices of what you like. I mean, it's not going to hurt to eat a dessert. It, back in the day, my grandmother, she was a fanatic about 3 meals a day, and she was up at 5:30 in the morning cooking breakfast, and it was eggs, sausage, biscuits, the works.
That's what I'm
And
talking about.
yeah,
Good.
so we would run that off. We would already be
Love this
ready for
woman.
lunch at lunchtime, and then it was usually a sandwich like tuna salad or egg salad, something like that, because it's hot and you want something cooling. Um, and since then, I've found out how to make cucumber salad. Oh, it's good. um,
Hmm.
and then you would run the heck off of that, and then we'd get a snack. And um, before my grandfather started working for Keebler, it was she would have something made up, even if it was just uh, like the flatbread with cinnamon and powdered sugar. It, it
Yeah. Yeah. Cinnamon toast bread.
yes, and
Yeah.
even for breakfast sometimes that's what it was. It was like French toast
Yeah.
or
Did you grow up with the
something sweet.
proverbial leftovers in the fridge? I used to
Oh
when I
yes,
go
yes.
into something. I'm trying to find something. You move about 28 bowls of leftovers. And
But you know what? That's and so we learned how to mix it together and make a meal out of it.
yeah,
It's
That's
um
how my mom was. She didn't waste nothing.
yeah, Thanksgiving meal. If I have mixed the turkey, the mashed potatoes, the green bean casserole, um, all of it together, and
mhm,
it the gravy, and made pot pies out of it, and the kids just loved it.
yeah.
That sound good.
Oh god, I used to make great, great homemade mashed potatoes. What the trick to it is that
Mm.
you warm the butter up, you nuke it, and you add the butter warm, and then mix
Butter
it all
makes
up.
it
You
better.
don't add it cold.
Mm.
What?
Butter definitely makes it better.
Yeah, well, I
Hmm.
don't eat mashed potatoes anymore, but I just eat the baked potato now and then. And I don't eat much butter anymore. I only do it if I have the baked potato.
I gotta have my butter.
Yeah. No, I don't need yeah, I don't eat well, I eat some bread, not much anymore. I eat pumpernickel. Yeah, I've just changed my taste, but I'm a lot happier. And you remember, I remember growing up, it was big breakfast, medium lunch, and then a big dinner. Now I have a very small breakfast, maybe some kind of a snack in the afternoon, and a small dinner.
Hey, you
So,
guys in the chat, if you haven't shared Bonnie out, please share her out. Give her a thumbs up. She is almost at her 1K and she would really appreciate that. I even shared her out. She's been working for a long time to get to her 1K. So if you guys could share her out, that would be wonderful.
she sure is. Are you gonna, like, if you have enough hours, you gonna get monetized, Bonnie?
She'll have
No,
enough hours.
Oh,
no,
okay. No, you don't
oh,
wanna
yeah,
get monetized?
no. And I have over enough hours already.
Okay.
um, and thank you for that, Sheena.
You're
I haven't
welcome.
really been trying. I just, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If I do ever hit 1,000, I will do a giveaway, but we'll see.
Well, the cool thing, once you're there, if you ever change your mind, you can do that. You know, that's the cool
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. If need be, then I might, but I know that it's not a substantial amount. So it's,
Every little bit helps, though.
yes, it does. That's true.
One thing I can put past you, I found live streams, they're freezing. But another thing is, I finally figured out, pop out the chat and then, get rid of the chat. There's no share buttons. There's no share buttons, like button, nothing. It's not there. And it's not the only one. Oh, shoot, it is there. It is there tonight. But anyway, I figured it out. Never mind. Oh, geez. Live and learn.
I've been thinking about other ways to make money on the side, and um, but this whole and I'm not complaining, and I'm not for me. It's just this whole roof thing, and now finding water damage and even black mold is it. This is taking up everything for me right now,
Mhm.
and so I may have to make some money on the side after this because it's been an expensive ride.
Anything, redoing anything is so expensive. I'm looking at gonna have to have this place roofed, and it's like, what is that gonna cost me? It's just, it's
Yeah.
dread. But you know, once it's over with, and
Yep.
that's a good thing.
I'm so sorry,
Yeah.
Bonnie. Well, with the
Um.
hurricane damage we had, even with the home insurance, we still had to pay out $6,500
Yes. And that's what I
for the roof, to get a new roof.
I've been on the phone with insurance companies today because um I found out that I'm way underinsured, and so if a tornado or something was to happen, there there would be no way I could replace my home. And so I was talking to other companies, and yeah, the deductibles are crazy, like 2,400 and up.
You
And
know what I thought? What if you have a loan on your home? Like there's a loan on this one, so it's
yeah,
covered in the mortgage. However, I thought, you know, if something happened to this place with all our tornadoes in Oklahoma, what would
mm,
I do if I was yeah, the loan company would get their money, but what the heck am I going to do? So
yeah,
maybe at some point, if I can get good enough that maybe I can get a different policy just for myself on the home to just replace it if something happens, you know. I actually considered that. That's funny you mentioned that because I was thinking about that today. Maybe that's a sign.
right. I know.
Yeah, but I'd watch. I'm not
Think,
sure, but if the mortgage company has, say, 100% replacement, whatever, then you get another policy and you're paying it, and say it does happen, you lose it all. I don't think yours is going to pay out because the other one's paying out. Just
Yeah, but
saying.
it's like life insurance, you know? Why wouldn't it pay out? I guess I'll have to ask somebody because I've never asked somebody that. But it makes sense to me. It's like if I'm paying for my own policy, I mean, that policy don't know. Well, I guess they would know. So you might be right. I don't know. That's something I'll
Oh,
have to
will,
look
because it's a
into.
conflict. They're going to turn around and say, you already got bought
That's
out.
true.
Say
You're
something.
probably right. So it'd be
Yeah.
better to take the money that I would put into another one and just stash it in a
Yes.
can by the river.
Yes.
I don't
And
trust
then,
banks.
yep, same. I keep as much out as I can
Yep. I'll
because you
dig a
never know.
hole. I'll hide it in a hole.
Yep.
There's so many X factors, and it varies upon state to state, county to county, policy to policy. You know.
That's true. Man, we try to do something good and you get screwed every time, don't you? It's like can't find no way to protect yourself here.
I know it. And insurance companies are such a ripoff. You look at 300 million people paying insurance yearly, and how many claims go out? You know, it's in all my years,
Insane.
it's hardly been any. And who's getting all this money? But boy, whenever something happens, they sure want to.
Give you the
We want
runaround.
pictures. We want estimates. We want everything.
Well, we had a hail, that's what I was saying is we had that hail, and it's like, well, if I was to claim on the insurance, is it going to make it go up even more, make the mortgage go up even more? And so it's like, well, I'd be better off just plopping out 3 or 4 grand, save the money and just have it done than it would be to claim on your insurance. Because once you claim on your insurance, it makes that go up. So it's like, geez, you can't win.
I think if it's something like that, if it's natural disaster, I don't think it goes up. If
Oh,
it
really?
if it's your vehicle, then I've seen that happen. But I haven't had my home insurance go up because of a claim. Like whenever I was married, we had the hail tear up the roof and had to have a new roof, and it didn't change.
The only time I was happy with the insurance, there's another story to this too. Um, I had to move. I didn't have a choice. Some clown took my license. Anyway, and we looked at the resale. I said to my dad, it's 20, 30,000 I got to put in. Anyway, they were building houses and we got a new house, with on a court. And if you can picture like a backsplat, an aluminum siding on the top, which favored the court side, so the wind came straight through, and a little bit of a triangle over the porch that I ended up finishing. Well, one day I'm going, what's wrong with the dogs or something? Here's pieces of aluminum coming out because I guess what, where it goes, the black, they didn't hit the trusses. So the guy comes out, the contractor, whatever. And he says, I'm going to do it all right out the front. And I said, okay, what does it, whatever. And it went right through. That was the only time I heard from them. But I have no doubt they went to the builder and sued them. We're going to go to court. They don't pay out, probably. That's my point.
Well, I'm with and I don't know what you call it, Farm Bureau. It's a agricultural. It's connected to the agricultural because we pay dues every year, and it goes to agriculture fund. So, but they have been the best insurance company I've ever had at paying. Um, I don't know, about 10 years ago, we had a bad hailstorm and it took out my windshield then. And
Yeah.
we all just, they had an adjuster at the motel and we just pulled up there. He looked at our vehicles and wrote us out a check right there.
You got very lucky. You got very lucky. And
Yeah.
my home is paid for now because that was part of my divorce settlement, which is very nice. But now I'm having to pay my own home insurance, and then I love the property taxes.
Don't you well? How much is yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, I own my own house. It's on land, but I still got to pay to own my own house.
That's right.
Yeah.
And if you miss
Gotta love it.
property taxes after 3 years, they will auction it off. Isn't that
They sure
crazy?
will. They sure will. Yeah. Luckily, I got it made on both of those policies that I could do it quarterly, so I'm not hit so hard right
Oh,
at the
that's good.
moment. But yeah, when I had to make my first payment on both of them, it was like, ugh. You know, I mean, oh, and I'm sorry, Sheena. I didn't even say hello to you, Sheena. I'm Snooks.
Hello.
Hello,
How are
Sheena.
So
you?
nice
Nice
to
to
meet
meet
you.
you
You're a
guys.
joy. You're a real
Oh, thank
joy.
you.
You're
This is
welcome.
I
Snooks.
follow Bonnie.
Yeah.
This is
There's one thing if
that's
I can share with you real quick to
the
finish that up.
second Blackwatch.
Oh, sorry.
That's Snooks above you, and then Wildlife is next to her, and um, they're both great.
Yeah.
And this
I'm
is
glad
Sheena.
Walt's right next to me.
Right here.
I'd move to Georgia if I could. Yeah, I know. I'd move to Georgia because of you.
Watch
It's too
those
hot in
hands,
Georgia.
Wildlife.
I might
Well,
have to
but
take down the
Wildlife,
no vacancy sign.
Wildlife is just the sweetest man. He's such a gentleman. I mean, he's one of the kindest men I've ever known. He really is. He's a
I
winner.
appreciate that.
That's a good man out there. I'm telling you.
You have a great voice. You should do
Who
radio.
I keep getting
That
told
chick.
that.
That's what I've been told. I have a face for radio. I've been told that my whole life.
Yeah, what you do have a great voice. I get told that all the time, Sheena. Thank
You
you.
do. It's very, very pleasant and sweet and kind and gentle.
Yeah. Well, and I
I
appreciate it.
appreciate
You
that.
know what? Shush. I changed my voice after I got married. My voice was different. It was louder and harsher because I felt I had to be that way to be heard.
Right.
And then when he left, I started calming down, getting more peaceful, and my voice changed to this. Is that strange?
No, because you were reacting from his energy. He must be a low vibing and
He was a
grouchy and
narcissist. He was a
yep,
narcissist. Yeah,
that
but
explains it.
yeah. And my dad actually was a radio announcer in Orlando for a long time.
That's
So
cool.
maybe I inherited some of him. I don't know. He had a great voice. But thank you very much.
Well, you're welcome. And I'm glad
And
you
what
got out of
life?
that relationship. Now you have a
Yeah,
opportunity
so
at a fresh
happy.
start. That's good.
So the day he left, I was happy. I could breathe again.
Yep.
And
So
Shackled.
yeah, it was very good.
And Blackwatch, I'm sorry, what were you gonna say, hon?
It's just something. I've been driving since mid 60, and with the pandemic and that, try to get another car. Like I was looking at a car, test drive it, tomorrow. The new ones are impossible, and I couldn't afford them anyway. And of course, it got sold. So I got one. It cost me, long story short, 4,000 to certify. Then it got bad. So there's an umbrella. This you might have it here. An umbrella that covers, like the house, apartment insurance and home automobile.
Yeah.
I didn't have a very good agent. She would. But anyway, I thought I can't deal with it. It's going to be 1,500, another 2 grand. So cancel it. So the car insurance was September the 7th every year. However, they worked it. So around June, I called them and I says, look, hypothetically, I cancel it, get rid of it. What's going to happen. But anyway, what I found out talking to head office, which gives you an agent because they have to be licensed, she says, it's going to be a cancellation fee of like almost $300. I said, what? She said, well, you went over it. And I says, look, wouldn't my agent say, look, cancel it September the 7th? But the thing is, you know what they said to me? It's like a mortgage. And I got a hold of Parliament, federal everything. And I said, when did this happen? 1992. And I said, I was looking at divorce. Where was I? But they don't have to tell you. I've seen people in chat down there talking about this nonsense. And the only way I got out of it, I sold the car. I took them at their word and I sold it. Gave them the. But you might, if you're thinking of canceling something, look at your renewal date. you'll pay $300 for the blessings of cancel. Just thought I'd throw that one. I never knew that. And they don't have to tell you.
Wow.
The government. And I said to them, look, if I went to a lawyer, they said sign here, but I didn't have to. They'd be facing bar problem. I mean, what do you mean they don't have to tell me? I just thought I'd throw it out because from what I've seen in some chats down there, because one guy said something, I phoned up, they're going to charge American $300 to cancel. So he says, I said to them, what are you going to do if I don't pay it to cancel? He says, go ahead, but you could be facing court. Just saying.
Wow.
And if it's automatic withdrawal to your bank account, try to get that canceled. I know how to do it, but anyway, I just thought I'd throw it out. I had no clue we changed this in 1992. So anyway, the end of my insurance, fiascos.
Yeah.
Well, I stayed with the home insurance company that I had my mortgage with, and so I'm very happy with them. They're very reasonable, and I have great coverage, and they work with me, and they're polite and good. So I was very happy. I'm not happy I have to pay for it, but then again, I want to protect my house.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, insurance is beautiful until you need it. Like I say, the only reason they did that aluminum, I have no doubt, they said to the builder because he was still building, "You want to go to court? We want $3, $4, $5,000." I'm sure that's how it happened, and that's why it went so smooth.
Mm.
But that being
Well,
said,
if I didn't have a lien on my home, I would be stashing money back for repairs and not depend
Oh,
on
Bonnie, I'm
insurance
sorry
companies.
you have a lien.
Yeah, I have a lien.
That
I've only been
sucks.
here.
That
I've
sucks.
only been here for about 5 years.
Hmm.
18,
mm,
6 years.
Is that from? I don't want to get personal, but is that from a subcontractor?
What? The
The
lien?
lien. Yeah.
No, it's the
Okay.
bank.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's none of my business.
It's all right. It's all good. It, the
I
bank
know, but
only.
you're such a good person that I want good to come back to you because you deserve it. That's just how I feel.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's all good. I mean, it is what it is. But that's my daughter's fixing to move into my mom's house, and it's paid for. But that's what I told her. Start savings account, whatever you got to do. They're all in the banks. They use the worst banks. I finally got them out of uh, what's that one? Wells Fargo. But I told her start stashing money back because you're going to need repairs. You're going to need just regular maintenance. And
My mortgage was through Wells Fargo, and they have a very bad reputation, and I know that they deserve it, but I had no issues with them, thank goodness.
yeah,
But I
heard
have
a
heard a
lot.
lot of bad things now.
So a lot about Wells Fargo, almost the top of the
Yeah.
list for you guys.
Yeah. But luckily I always made my payments on time, so I just never had any issues. And I was late a couple times, and I would call them, and because I'd always paid so well, they gave me that grace and didn't charge me the late charge.
yeah,
I don't, I don't know much about it, but I was thinking when you said Texas is looking at a stock exchange, I'd be very interested in who's funding it before it even starts. Just saying.
yeah, that's true.
Mm.
Um, from what I was told, and I have no facts to back this up, no proof, but um, excuse me, when Abbott was going overseas and doing his thing, whatever he was doing over there, that he was actually buying up um, precious metals, maybe, or making trade deals already at that time. Um, I don't know. I don't know what he's up to. And I should know. I mean, that's something I should be tracking a lot closer, but
You know what? I won't say fears, concerns. You know, obviously that, well, Texas was almost its own country, but we went through Quebec separation up here. They constantly, like Justin's father, was constant referendum. You get to the point, you say, hold it, we're done. You know what I mean? Get out or whatever. But that was that.
well,
You know, it's always coming up. We'll separate.
Life, if you're still listening, have a happy birthday. If I don't see you before then. I don't know when it is. Soon, he said. Uh-oh, we lost
Oh,
Sheena.
oh, Watt left.
Who? Must
Yeah,
have been.
Sheena
Watt
left. I don't have bad breath. I swear I don't.
Sheena, what happened?
Could have been the iguana.
Yeah.
Maybe she worried about an iguana falling on her head in the panel.
It might be supper time. I understand that. Oh, I don't know. I don't. And but that's just it. And even with all the things, okay, that when we had the hailstorm, um, that was pretty scary because they were so big. It, it looks like a football helmet went into the hood of my car. They were so big. I have a picture of a girl holding it with two hands. And so hitting the roof, and we were in here, and I was like, man, it sounds like it's going to come straight through. Some of the homes around me, it did. And so I was just sitting here with my granddaughter in my lap, leaning over her, covering her, rocking her, trying to keep her calm. And um, so we didn't know anything, any of the damage or anything, because it was at 9 till the next day. And then when I walked outside, I mean, it looked like a war zone. I was seeing people post on Facebook that in town it looked like a war zone. Everyone was just like, we were kind of in shock, like at the intensity of it and it, it, like I don't know anybody that didn't have damage, and so it's still kind of shaky. And roofers were going door to door. I let them go up and look. They sent me took pictures to give to me, and then I saw the craters, and I mean craters down to the ceiling in the roof, and I was like, "Whoa!" And so they said they were going to tarp it, which they did, but they didn't tarp the vents. And he told me that the vents were damaged also, and so that is where the what has happened now, because they didn't tarp that, and we had 2 or 3 days of just a straight, solid, good watering, drenching rain. And we needed that. So that's a blessing. So that I'm starting to see water damage isn't surprising. And they've been asking me, they keep asking me, let us know if you see anything inside. And I'm like, okay. And well, now I see it. But I'm confident that I've got a good roofer. You'll like his name, Snooks. He goes by Cowboy on the Roof. And
Save a
everyone,
roof, ride a cowboy.
he doesn't want a
I'm sorry,
cowboy
I
on
had to
their
do
roof,
it.
right? And so he has been awesome with me because of the way that other people did me. They sent me an invoice for $800 for this little tarp that they had put up there, and the measurements were way off, like way off. And so he kind of blasted it on Facebook, and he didn't say any names, but this company came at him, "You're slandering me," and well, that admitted their guilt right there to me. So, but anyway, because of all this, the company that I did hire has decided to give me a 50-year roof that's more hail resistant, wind resistant. So that's a blessing too. I mean, good things are coming out of it. It's just, you, you have to look at the good, even when it seems like it could be really bad. But I know it's going to all turn out good. I just have faith. I don't feel anxious about it or depressed about it or anything like that. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
And you're getting a 50-year roof. I think mine was a 25. Well,
Yeah,
this is what I've seen with you,
but
Bonnie. You have a good flow with life.
well, I try to.
But
It's
you do. Things come along, rocks come along, and they're gonna slow you down, but you go
yeah,
around them eventually.
or skip over them or whatever. Yeah, I've had some
Well, skip over them
pretty
too,
good
yeah.
blood. But
Yeah.
it's
Well, that's what
just
I look like. I look like life as a flow of, it's a river flow, and you can either
yeah,
smash into the rocks and let it stop you and break up, or you can find a way to flow around them.
yeah. That's funny because
So,
my daughter doing the hula hoop dancing, and I've heard the musicians say it too. When you get in the flow, it's just like a and Sheena can probably relate. Lady Sky, good to see you. Um, it's like a, it's almost just like a kind of like a meditation, but not. It's a flow, just like you said. Once you reach that flow,
yeah.
it just continues. And I'm telling you, that's I know where it comes from. It's the grace of God. There's no doubt in my mind. And that's where my peace comes from. Is just knowing that I know He's here with me and not going to give up on His promises.
That's how I
Everyone.
believe too. Yeah, that's how I believe. I definitely. I feel like wherever I am, God is. And I get up every morning, and once I'm, splash water on my face and I'm alive, I open the blinds to my back porch and I stand there and I say, "Thank you, God, for, you know, giving me my life and
Yes.
letting me get up today."
Yep.
And I bless the people, that I love and family members and other people that I love. And then I always say, "And I love you very much, God. Thank you." And then I have a good day. It's like doing that simple thing, which is a prayer to me. I have a really good day every day.
Yeah. And
I
that
just
is,
feel better.
it takes that prayer. And
Yeah.
that's what I do. It is thank you for letting me wake up and at the end of the night,
Yes.
thank you for a good day. No matter what kind of day it was, it was a good day. It was a great day to be alive. That's all. And that's what I keep saying about these times.
And
What time to be alive. We are seeing all of this play out. We are seeing history in the making. We are seeing so many things that is going to be passed on to our grandchildren and generations to come. And that's I've started journaling, but even before then, I have got spiral notebooks with notes of everything that I have learned in this YouTube community, everything that we have talked about, all kinds of things are just written down where if my kids can decipher it and make any sense out of it, it's all there for the past 5 or 6 years. And um, I think that I want them to know the real thing, what was really going on, not what somebody's going to put in the history books, their view of it. It's, this is, that's why I like so many different opinions, no matter what they are. We got Blackwatch in Canada, Snooks with her Florida free flow opinion, and that's great. I just like hearing all of them because that's what makes the world go around. We're all different, we're all on different paths, but here we can come together and talk about things and leave happy. It's not, we're not going to be fighting over it. It's just learning from each other and talking about it and seeing what's going on in different areas and different people, and I love it.
Yeah, I do too. I do. I've enjoyed going on chat panels, and I found that I'm not very shy. Um, and I don't mind saying my piece. I'm trying to learn how not to be so blunt and get aggressive, but I think I'm doing better. This has been the easiest panel I've ever been on. Because on indies, I can get a little bit heated with some of the people, but this has been very easy.
I
Yes, I know
know.
you know I get heated.
Well, and I have to mute or zip my mouth or something sometimes also.
Well, you don't
But
ever have, but you don't have to do that with me.
no, well,
I want you to be honest with me and say what you want to say.
yes, and I do. And you and
Okay.
I have had discussions, and they've been different, but
Yeah.
still at the same time respectful. It
Yes.
wasn't, I wasn't yelling at you. No, you have to believe me my way. It's,
Yeah, I know what you
that's
mean.
messed up. And we just can't be stuck in that, because I think that that's a lot of the issues with relationships is people aren't willing to give. People aren't willing to listen. People aren't willing to compromise anymore. I mean,
Mm,
it used to
mhm.
be you would have a fight out in the recess schoolyard or whatever, and you'd get up and dust off and shake hands and go on. My friend from high school, that's what happened with us. And here it's been 40 plus years, we have been close friends. It's never stopped. And that's the way it should be to me. That's the old way. That's when that's like when your word was a handshake, when you just neighbors were neighbors. It, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's a different way of life here,
No, I
and
know what you're saying.
I love
And
it.
there's times where I may disagree with you, but then there's bits and pieces of what you do say that I will totally agree with you and understand.
Yeah.
It's like I said, I just tend to question more. Um, but I don't think that's a bad thing. No, I get along with you great. I love when you're up there talking. We have
It's not
issues sometimes with
something.
other people, but it's
Yes.
usually the 3 of us will have an issue with somebody. So it's not just me or you or Indy, but like I said, Indy's just gotten so good.
Well, and having a channel can be difficult at times. It's trying to keep the peace, trying to let everyone speak what they believe, and it's, man, sometimes um, it can get overwhelming. And but at the same time, it's like it, it comes down to respect and respect for others. You know, everyone has a voice and everyone has something to say, but it's those that just want to say it and all and alone. it that's when it's really hard to navigate through that. And I admire Indy for the way she has done it, and
Yes.
I've tried to do the same here. Um, Almost everybody that comes up on panel has been very respectful.
Well, and what I liked with Indy was, because I interrupt too much and I need to learn to listen better, which I'm working on. She has told me, you need to stop talking now. And I will DM her later and tell her, thank you so much for doing that with me. Because I'd like for her to do that. That doesn't ever bother me. I am not going to get butthurt if somebody says, you know what, I think I'd like to talk now or something like that. That,
Right?
I like that Indy does that. I respect it.
Have a good night, Sheena.
Good night,
Yes.
Gina. Bye. You know a
Because I
word?
feel like I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I, mean, I never thought of it. We've talked quite often, Bonnie, and talk about neighborhood, what it was like growing up. But the one thing they tag here for the non-existence of community was bedroom community. Bedroom community. You
Yeah.
moved out from the city, and it was just you worked, you came home. You see it on the movies where they all pull out and everything else. And that's really what it was like to get to know somebody. You were working. It was a bedroom community.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that when I grew up. You know, it was the street. You know,
Thankfully, I did. It even growing up in San Antonio, um, like we knew most of the people within 4 streets over and 4 blocks down. The whole area, we would meet up at the park and go fishing and stuff. It was we had a YMCA that we would hang out at. And we would go bike riding in the evenings. All the ladies and children would get together and go bike riding, give the man a little peace and quiet after his meal. Um, it was, I just think that's the way it should be. And so that's what I've tried to keep going with my kids and my friends. We have barbecues and everyone's invited. It's That's just the way it is here, and it still happens. It's That's traditions that I think will continue on, and those are the good ones.
I think up here, my parents moved around 1971. I think I was telling you. And there was a select few in the area the way you're close. But after that, it started to disappear. And the last place I lived was almost non existent. You got along a couple of neighbors, but I wouldn't want to be a kid growing up with it. Uh,
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a different world.
and it is, but we can still try to keep it the same world in our own little areas if we're able. I know a lot of people are not able. I know that a lot are stuck in their homes or in an apartment in the city, and I know it's harder to get to know people, but even in an apartment complex, I'm one that I will go out there walking around just to get to know people. I have always been a people person. I always loved working with the public. Um, I've done it since I was 16 years old. And so it I guess in doing that is where you learn all the different people and all their different opinions and who's the grumpy one and who's the and so you learn how to speak to that person to maybe make them feel better or whatever's making them grumpy, just kind of try to counter it any way you can. I don't know. It's just been, and then especially if you're working on tips, you're, well, any business I worked at, strong believer in customer service.
Well, I used to be very, very social and very outgoing. And then within the marriage, towards the end, I started pulling back and became very much of a loner, quit going to his family functions. I just couldn't, I was overwhelmed and realized that I'm an introvert, but I can be social doing this.
Hey, Rich
This,
Runner.
this is very
Yeah,
comfortable for me,
yeah. And
but I'm very introverted.
well, and
I,
that's the thing is there's really no judgment. I mean, sometimes there is.
uh,
Yeah, good to see you. But
yeah, I got judged by his sisters telling me, "Well, you need to go out more, you need to go out more," because they didn't understand it because 'cause they're very, very social, but nobody else has judged me, and I go out maybe once a week grocery shopping or to a doctor if I have to, and that's pretty much it. I order all my clothes online. I'm just more comfortable that way. I'm not
yeah,
antisocial. I'm happy this way, and I have good friends, online friends.
yeah,
I mean, I know I can DM Indy and talk to her, and she'll always help me. And I have some other friends like that. I am on Facebook. I have a Facebook Heart family that I've had for probably 7 years. There's not many states that I couldn't go to, and somebody in that state wouldn't welcome me with open arms to their house. And that's a good feeling.
yeah.
So,
That's true.
yeah. Well, listen, I'm going to jump off because it's getting a little bit late. But I
Yeah,
really
it's
appreciate you
good.
having me up there, up here. I enjoyed it.
I do
And I
too.
and I enjoyed you a lot, Blackwatch.
It was nice to see you on there, but has it been?
Yeah,
You've made me feel it's been 4 years since you came. Oh my God,
it
it
was
has.
enjoy. I enjoyed learning from you about Canada.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
There's a lot to finish it so you understand. You have to
Mm-hmm.
have a majority to the government, but sometimes parties get enough seats and they join, like the NDP and that. They form the
Mm-hmm.
government. It's not one-sided all the time. There is majority. See, the Liberals got a majority. They're in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can do pretty well what they want. In this case,
Yeah,
it's a coalition between two parties to form the majority. That kind of usually a large one and a small one. You know, but that's what we have now.
Well, I can understand that aspect of it, and I appreciate you explaining it.
Well, it is totally different than I know how House of Reps keep the eye on Congress, and I understand how it
No,
works.
no, it's not quite so different, really.
no,
No, it's
a little, but
A
not.
little bit, but yeah.
the one thing I'll finish it with this that I think you and we, both countries can do without is a Senate rubber stamp. Get rid of them.
Yeah, that's just the middleman in between the president
Just a big rubber stamp. Say
and
that's the
Congress.
law.
Yeah. Well, hey there, JM.
Oh, Snooks, I'm so glad you didn't leave yet. I wanted to give you your own personalized and exclusive greetings. Listening to you, and you seemed really nice and relaxed. It was actually, really nice to just kind of hang out and listen and, put some stuff in chat from time to time.
Yeah, but I like being on a panel with you. I don't know if I've ever been on a panel with you. Yeah, I think I have. I
Yeah.
gotta let me tell you something. And and I just before I leave, you were on. Steve Herloa's panel when he did the racism thing with those two guys.
Oh yeah.
And I really respected you going up there and saying the peaceful things you and intelligent things you did. You brought down the heat. And you handled it so well because the one guy was calling the other guy names. And
Oh,
I respected what you did at that time, and I never got to tell you.
I appreciate that. It was one of those things where typically I wouldn't stick my nose into it, but it just from my experience with like actually debating, like in school,
Mhm.
they have the debate classes.
Mhm.
It just I felt like I'd be doing a disservice to the whole thing if I didn't at least throw a little bit out there to balance it out. So yeah, thanks for that.
No, and I was modding, and when you went up there and I heard what you were saying, I went, "Well, hell yeah." You just handled it so elegantly.
That's good. I'm glad that it came through okay because I realized it can be a hot subject. Um,
yes.
and
Yeah, it was. It was.
I wasn't half in the bag, but I was probably 25% in the bag, and so I didn't want to make a fool of myself or hurt Steve's reputation or offend anybody. So it was a little tricky, but I thought I got to at least say 2 cents worth.
You didn't hurt anything. You added a lot to it, and I think you made it a lot better. You gentled it down, and you did really good. So thank you for that.
That's very
Sam,
very
I've,
kind of you.
I've only
Uh,
heard you be calm. You're you're just
yeah, JM, so good. So good. All right. Well, I am going to leave. Thank you very much to Kat for what you said. I appreciate that. Loved being up here. And good night to all of you on the panel. Loves and loves and hugs to the chat. Y'all are awesome. I see you in a lot of, I see you in Indies chat too. So, you know, um, much love to all of you.
Have a
Good
good
night.
night.
thank you for
Sleep well.
coming up, Snooks.
All
Appreciate
right.
Good night. Say good night to the iguanas for
I'm not going to go down south and tell them that.
no, I don't think so.
Poor
Good night,
Barney.
Blacklight.
Good night. Sleep well.
it. Have a good night.
Wow, I jumped on the panel right at the right time to get a beautiful compliment from her.
Yes.
I really appreciated that.
But anyway,
I missed that show, but I've seen you. You're just always calm. So I could
Well,
see you on that.
I'm not always calm. Certainly, if I'm on YouTube or if I'm on a live stream, I realize, that it's a public venue. But yeah, a lot of people have said that very, very calm. And that's a big part of actually working with animals, especially if you're trying to rehabilitate them or help them.
Oh yeah.
If you're not psychologically and emotionally balanced, you can actually have a negative effect on them. So it's something I've worked on, and no one's perfect, but still appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of us are perfect, that's for sure. I mean, I know I'm not.
And when it comes to politics, I can tell you, as a Canadian, like I think most of I'm in Canada as well as Blackwatch, but I don't understand the mechanics of the politics either, any more than I really understand the intricacies of, say, the IRS tax code, or here in Canada the tax code. There's so much there, and it seems to be constantly moving targets.
Yep.
I remember, I think I mentioned my dad, as far as I was alive, worked customs and excise. You ought to see the size of the books for that in the day.
There you go.
Talk about intricacies. Like, I think, briefly, he started at my godfather's father station on Saturday.
Mhm.
The reason was to know automotive parts.
Yep.
I could tell you the way we're class of kind made in Canada. Real quick, there was a brothers I raced with, trailer cars. We used to go to Dearborn to get parts from California. But one time there was a guy that lived there in Detroit, Yeah, you know, a kit car. Yeah, you know.
Yep.
And he said, I can't put it together. You know, I can't do it. Here, you can have it. So he took a 2-car trailer. Anyway, we picked it up and we had a young man and woman pulled us over. You know, it was like the brothers were sweating. I remember this guy, this sergeant, sitting at a desk. You know, you know. And I said, it's a class or kind, not made in Canada. You can't buy it. It's MTO exempt. And he looked at me and he says to the young one, get him out of here. Because what I learned from my father, you know,
So
they had nothing on it.
so he just ushered you through then?
Pardon?
He ushered you through then?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that for some reason.
Did he just usher you through then? Like
Oh
everything?
yeah, when I recited it, like he had a bill of sale, you know, gift and all this, but the thing was, it's a car.
Yeah.
So I just, you know, class or kind, not made in Canada. In other words, you can't buy it here. You know, all the things that protect the Canadian customs, and you just look at the get him out of here. You know?
I think the most common kit cars were they used the Volkswagens, like the Volkswagen Beetles, as the donors.
Mm.
Is that right?
Oh no! This wasn't like a dune buggy. This was this cost them a lot of money. Tubular, all bent. You know, it was basically a poor man's drag car.
Okay.
You know, like the frames without the engine drivetrain.
Yep.
That I recall. That was in the 90s, but I do remember that. You know, because they'd sweat. You know, like as soon as the government got involved, border guards and you know. But I just shot off something that my dad had told me.
Yeah.
You know, you can get a machine part, but if it's to build a machine, that's one thing. If it's a repair machine, it's another thing. If it's spare part, you know, it's all these crazy, like you say, the structure of it was incredible. But he had to do a test. He bought a book almost 4 inches thick. You know, but anyway, yeah, you know, Revenue Canada, you know how that started. You know, I'm not going to take it over. Pay off the war debt in the 20s, right? Just kept going.
Mm-hmm.
And it's,
Yep. Pretty much every major country in the world has their population debt enslaved. There's very few countries that are exempt from that.
I don't know if you'd agree with it. I don't want to throw his name out, you know, this is a different channel. But there's a guy in Alberta. You got to listen to him. Yeah. He's a little bit feisty with the language, but he knows his stuff.
Is that and AS?
Who?
Andrew Scheer?
No, it's Frosty ABC,
Oh, okay.
which I think is Brett or something. But he has people up in Quebec. Anyway, I don't want to detract from the live, but
Yeah.
I across him a few months ago. He went on another, you know, panel or something. I thought, who the heck is this guy? But it's, you know, it's got basically the Quebec, you know, it's discussions. They've yet to rip each other's heads off, but it's very interesting. He's on top of everything, and he can prove it. You know, like the evidence or whatever. Which I won't get into here, but our government, I don't know.
So is Thursday the debate? Is that what the thing is going on Thursday?
I think so.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Did you see that? Anybody live streaming it's getting taken down?
So, well, maybe everyone should pull together and everyone should live stream it.
Kill YouTube.
Yeah, especially the largest channels.
One thing I remember a prime minister that put it in was laughing about. There was never anything such as free trade. Didn't exist. It was just a little bit of history of Canada. It was just an agreement on certain commodities.
Yeah.
It was never free trade. Never.
Well, yeah, they could drop the word free and just call it's a trade agreement.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing's free, especially to the taxpayers. It's probably free for those that wrote it, that drafted it, right?
But this is what I mean. They talk about the IRS and you talk about, taxation. This is like taking, a 50-story building that used to be a log house, to try to pull it apart and go down it. Well, just can't rebuild it. I don't think. I don't. It's too intertwined. But anyway,
I think anything can be rebuilt. We got this.
but
Them-
hey, I don't mean to take something I ran across, Jim, if you're still there.
I'm still here.
You know Downsview Park?
Downsview Park. That rings a bell. Sounds like Toronto.
Well, it's where de Havilland CFB was there. The CFB, I worked for de Havilland. It just got sold. So I was curious, like I didn't know it failed at Viking Air. Anyway, I happened to Google who owns Downsview Park.
Yep.
Imagine what came back. It surprised me. And I haven't looked into it. Canada Lands Company.
It's a Crown corporation that specializes in attractions, management, real estate, and development.
Well, the odd thing was it's not corporation. It's listed as company, which I found odd.
Self-financing, Federal Crown Corporation. See, they got all these different terms. Like you really got to dig deep and dig often to stay on top of it all.
Well, it's just funny. Like Boeing bought it, and they gave up. They couldn't figure out how you get all this metal in and a whole plane out the door. But Bombardier bought it, and they got to the point they couldn't deal with it. So you know what they did? They turned around and said, "There's 600 acres. We can develop it, right? We can sell it to a developer." There's one Toronto City Councilwoman said to them in a letter and broadcast it publicly over my dead body. And so they never managed it, Prime land up there. But apparently de Havilland's closed, which shocked me. They've been around since 1920. A.B. Rowe, the Abolero. I work with a couple guys that worked on them. But yeah, apparently it's a Canada Lands Company, not corporation. No.
Unshackled, that's amazing. 46 years.
That is awesome. Yeah, big shout out to anyone that's been able to hold their marriages together, especially over long periods of time and over raising a family. It's like out of my network of physical people, like not online, but like people I grew up with and people I know, it's probably only like 20%, of marriages are lasting over 10 years. It's really
that to me is the same, Jay. Like some guys go around, I've known them 40 years, and in my life that was impossible. I was justified to walk out on them.
Mm-hmm.
I remember to the day how it all went down, and they made the choice. And honestly, I had a couple guys almost got close, but then life, you know what I mean? Like you go here, you go there.
Yeah.
So anybody that can say that, I got a friend for 20, 30, 40 years. That's amazing to me. But I don't know.
Oh, and like some of these couples that I do know, that have been together 50 years, long time, they're just so adorable. Like they've completely given in to each other's shortcomings or weaknesses, and it's like they've become one entity. But I think that's part of it too. In a relationship, there's three entities, right? There's the one party, the other party, and the union.
What comes to, I've been divorced almost 32 years. I was married 22. And one word that comes from it, communication. If it ain't there, forget it.
Mm-hmm.
can't talk, gonna end. Might as well get it over with. To me, anyway.
Well, that's the same with any relationship.
Mm.
Yes. Thank you. That's what I said. Someone is, what are you looking so hard for love or something like that? And it's like, uh, because I talk about relationships, but that can be with family, with friends, with your spouse, with anyone.
Yep. Business.
It takes work. It's not just a
Well, it's
give
kind
it.
of, sorry.
There's going to be differences. You work through them.
It's basically the top. It's late. I get that. The two topics you began, Sunday night and tonight.
Yes.
And people don't want to talk about it. They don't.
And well, I know I didn't want to talk about it, but it's
And it's there, Bonnie. I know it's late in the day, but what you started with Sunday, it. Well, I told you how I stumbled into that little realm, and
yeah.
it's like, huh? It's still here. The things are still here. That to me would be 50 years ago, and it's still breeding. And if you keep going, well, somebody else will take care of that, whether it's divine or otherwise. You're dreaming. But it is both of what you said tonight and Sunday night, and it's not going away.
I know. We need to work on that.
It's always been there.
Yeah.
I could tell you something I said to my son-in-law, and he almost hit me, but I don't know if I should say it.
Maybe not.
No, well, it's not that. I was standing up for something, saying, wake up, like there's no safe neighborhood. I won't say exactly what I said. I had to shock him. And I did.
Yeah.
And I said, now you're going to learn there's no safe neighborhood. My mom's was a safe neighborhood till 11:05 on June the 30th one year, and she distracted me, and then comes a hand with a gun. There's no safe neighborhood. Don't assume it, ever.
Yeah.
If you got one, it's great, but anyway, I'm not going to open that can of worms with you.
No, you're right though. Like it's easy. I've heard people say, I live in a safe community, and they're, very confident about it, and very, very relaxed. But it's true. Anything can happen anywhere. So you do all. You don't want to. I don't think you want to live in fear, because that's a terrible thing to have to worry about. But I think having a mindset of preparedness is really important.
Yeah, definitely. But that's what I'm saying. Here we kind of stay that way anyway. It's not like Carl says, we don't see rattlesnakes everywhere. We don't see, all the dangers all the time, but we know that they're there. If we go to the river, we make sure that we have something to take care of snakes, because there's a lot of water moccasins and they'll come right up. Excuse me, while you're standing there fishing or whatever. And so it's always good to be prepared for anything. Definitely.
I'll tell you one thing, the front hall closet wasn't the way it was after that night. There's always something there.
Yeah.
She didn't know it, but I took care of it. But anyway.
So, I have a song for that. I didn't know. Well, I'm kind of ready to close that. Should we play a song, and then if y'all want to talk backstage, we can, but need to get me something to eat.
Yeah, you got to take care of yourself, Bonnie.
Yeah, I'm a little hungry. I never eat before I go live because I'm nervous whenever I go live. You can probably tell at the beginning the way I'm speaking, nerves, and but then, like they said, the flow. It's y'all all make it way easier. I just watch the chat and listen to them and listen to who comes up on panel, and it just makes it a whole lot easier just to get relaxed and get into it. I love that. Thank y'all.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I've heard other people say too, I get so nervous, and then, like when the live stream's over, it's like, oh, I can take a deep breath and
Yes.
decompress and everything.
And that's usually wired, but I think Creek said he might go live for his birthday, so
Yeah.
if anyone wants to go over and tell him happy birthday, that would be awesome.
I think that's a good idea.
I'm sorry.
I think that's a great idea.
Yes. Creek Squad. Andy, if you could drop his link, I would appreciate that.
You know what? I don't want to throw away. You'll never have this, Bonnie. But I told you about that IT check, tech channel, 394,000. How many are active?
Wow.
Watching one day, and he got swatted big time.
Thank you, Andy.
That was an eye-opening experience.
Yeah. And it can happen anytime. That's why I'm like, I don't really pay attention to the numbers. I did notice once I got over 900 that YouTube kept taking subs, or unless the same amount of people were unsubbing, it was always an even number. So I don't know. It's possible.
No, you won't go. You could see it happening. Somebody says to me, your Twitter thing, it's not going to happen to you. Don't worry about it. It's just
Yeah.
something you probably never see. Most people wouldn't see that.
But at least, knock on wood, they've never really smacked me hard. But
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and we've talked about everything here.
Let's put it this way. The police department got a real education on swatting. They had no clue how to handle it. But anyway, it's just, it's not going to happen to you. But no.
Yeah, I'm not worried.
Rarely happens. But it's, maybe I should have said anything.
Somebody said music, so I'm going to share this song, and then we'll close it out. Okay?
Sounds good.
Thank you.
situation, we will be invincible. And with the power of conviction, there is no sacrifice. It's a do or die situation, we will be invincible. Won't anybody help us? Won't be running far when there's nowhere we can run to anymore. We cannot afford to be innocent. Stand up and face the enemy. It's a do or die situation. We will be invincible. And with the power of conviction, there is no sacrifice. It's a do or die situation. We will be invincible. We cannot afford to be innocent. Stand up and face the enemy. It's a do or die situation. We will be invincible. We cannot afford to be innocent. Stand up and face the enemy. It's a do or die situation. We will be invincible.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel for more covers and for originals that are coming a bit later. Also wanted to let you know that now I have my official
She's good.
She is. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you all soon.
That song has a good message too.
Mhm.
Y'all take care. Thank you all for coming in. I enjoyed it so much. God bless you and see you soon. Good night.